What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is Baller Friday. That's right, folks. Happy Baller Friday to everybody. This is episode number 594. Episode number 594 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It is July 20th, 2018. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, all right? And let everybody you know, let them all know. Go to all over the internets, the forums, the chat rooms, the blogs, everywhere throughout the internets and throughout the world. And let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And it is, and I love being independent now. Type this in your browser, add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.report. All right? It's that simple. You just type that in your browser, ghost.report. And, of course, if you have not done so, please follow me on my only social media representation on the Internet, and that's on Gab, folks. If you don't have yourself a free Gab account, well, goddamn, get you one. It is the last bastion of freedom of speech in social media today. So go to Gab right now. Type it in your browser right now, gab.ai. And once you do, follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And by the way, folks, if you are not part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, well then, by God, I hope that you need to get into the chat room. Aside from me looking at the chat room right now, what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby? Happy Baller Friday! Hey, happy Baller Friday to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. If you want to be a part of this, aside from being a part and listening and being able to chat with us, aside from that, you are going to be able to participate in all the internet tomfoolery that we get involved into, folks. Here recently, we have been having fun prank calling within the chat room. Believe it or not, we have it connected to where everyone who's in the voice chat room can be a part of the fucking prank call, baby. Modern day technology, you goddamn right. And what we're doing is we're calling up these numbers that pop up with these, your computer has a virus. You must call this number so we can get the virus out of it. You know, one of those things. These pop-up ads, you know, we're calling these numbers and we're saying, hey, we've got something wrong, and I'm telling you, it's always somebody from India, and for whatever reason, once they realize that they're being trolled and they're being prank called and we're having a great time on their behest, they start, like, literally just talking garbage to us. They start talking garbage to us and saying things about our mother and our father, and they're always talking about their ball bag. I don't know what the hell that's about. I don't know what the hell that's about, but by God, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room and participate in some of this internet tomfoolery, we've done a bunch of stuff, okay? I don't want to get into all the stuff that we've gotten into. But be a part of it. You want to be a part of it, go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab account, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, okay? And click the subscribe button right there for premium content, all right? Go to Politics Ghost right now and click the subscribe button for premium content. And once you do, okay, private message me on Gab. Once you do all that, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, because that's where the chat room is. Let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all right? Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, folks, it's Baller Friday, and I'm very excited. I am now almost a half a month, I would say, not drinking any alcohol. I know that's probably very perplexing to a lot of people that are listening to the broadcast. It's like, oh, dude, it's Baller Friday, man. How can you not be partaking in copious amounts of consumption of alcohol? How can you not do it? Well, I have to do it, okay? I'm not giving up drinking forever. Like I said, folks, I'm going to try to take it 1 month at a time, all right? Once I get to the first month, I'll see if I have any kind of inkling to go in and maybe take a drink or two. If I don't, I'll maybe go to another month. But regardless, when I come back to drinking, folks, it's no longer drinking every day. There's no reason to drink every day. Like I have told you folks many times on the broadcast, the reason I was drinking every day is because Barack Obama was elected president. I mean, I started drinking every day from like 2009, 2008 period to about half a month ago, almost 3 weeks ago. And the reason is, folks, is because, I mean, Obama, I don't know if some of you folks understood how much pressure and how much harder you had to work as a capitalist during Barack Obama's tenure. But it was unbelievable. And not to mention, Barack Obama and his regulations and the way he governed made it very difficult for independent capitalists, for small business owners. I mean, it was hard. But you know what? Ghost beat Obama 1. Ghost beat Obama 2. And you know what, baby? I mean, I've just brushed my shoulders off with it. But, you know, with that hard work, with that pain and grit and sweat and tears and blood, you know, you have to find some way to blow off some steam. And at the time, I thought, you know, blowing off steam at the end of the day with, you know, beer consumption. And I want to be honest with you, I used to drink at least 12 to 15 beers a night. Occasionally, well, more than occasionally here recently, I was adding about 4 shots to that, and it was just getting overboard. And I wouldn't say, well, I guess everybody says that, but I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic because, you know, it was pretty easy for me to go cold turkey. What I did not realize is, once again, the mental toll that, you know, drinking alcohol on an everyday basis does to your psyche. I want to be honest with you, man. I've never experienced these types of anxiety attacks. And I think it's because of the fact that I kind of probably screwed my brain chemistry up. I mean, had I known that I was screwing my brain chemistry up by drinking, I wouldn't have been drinking. But either way, I'm having these panic attacks as a result, and I'm trying to, you know, obviously, you know, brush my shoulders off with them, you know, trying to make them not affect me, whatnot, but it's just a horrible feeling. I mean, I don't even really want to drink because, I want to get drunk. I mean, at this point, I almost want to drink just to get rid of the anxiety that is brought on because I've stopped drinking. I mean, I'm sad to say that. I'm being honest with you folks, and the reason I'm being honest with you is to prevent some of you guys from consuming copious amounts of alcohol for long periods of time, for consecutive days, for consecutive years, etc. So, with that being said, I'm going to be all right. I'm not bitching and moaning. I'm not going to take any psychotropic drugs, that's for sure. But I'm taking it day by day because I'm telling you, man, I will never talk garbage to anybody who has true anxiety. I was always one who, looked down upon those that kind of used anxiety as a means to not necessarily participate in the world or as a crutch, or I used to think it was a crutch. But anxiety is for real, and it's onset, and it's something that, you can't even control. I mean, it's like your chest is pounding and you can't breathe and you think you're going to die, and it's just ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous, and I catch myself doing it even amidst the anxiety attack. And it's like your brain and your body. It's not working with what you're cognitively understanding. It just like goes haywire on its own, and I think it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. But regardless, I'm all right. Okay, I'm all right. Just take a couple of deep breaths and try to shake it off. But once again, I just want to let everybody know, if you're going to be consuming alcohol every single day for years and you decide that you're going to go get off alcohol, it is going to fuck with your brain, all right? And what I mean by that is that, I think I'm okay. I'm actually a better ghost. Mrs. Ghost is saying, hey, Ghost, you're doing pretty good, I'm kind of, I would say less prone to getting angry, I guess. Maybe the alcohol consumption contributed to the real... I don't think so. I can still get angry because of things that I feel very passionate about, but Mrs. Ghost has told me a lot of things, and... Anyway, I don't want to get into myself here, folks. I'm just giving you a brief synopsis of what's going on here, and yours truly is, stop drinking, and as a consequence of that, man, you get a lot of mental side effects, man. So just take that into consideration when you guys are, being a little rambunctious and drinking Grandpa's old cough medicine. That's all. Anyway, folks, it's Baller Friday. I don't want to be a bummer to anybody, man. Some people might be drinking here, and they're saying, Ghost, come on, man. I'm drinking some fucking single malt aged 20-year scotch. All right? A shot of this shit is like $75, and you're making me feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about it, all right? I'm just telling you, don't just limit drinking to celebratory celebrations, I should say, and, having a good time. That sort of thing. Don't be self-medicating with it is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Anyway, folks, it's Baller Friday. Before we get into the crypto and stock talk, I do want to talk about something that is really bothering me here. And I don't mean to be rolling eyeballs in the back of people's heads, but I want to talk about, once again, the lack of equality with women and men, okay? And I'm going to give you two cases, and I'm just going to give you an example. Let me just give you some examples, okay? As a man, okay, when you're the champ of anything, when you're the champion of the world in boxing, or you're the world champion in the UFC mixed martial arts, if you're the champion in arm wrestling or bodybuilder, whatever, the pool, golf, whatever, whenever you're no longer the champ, all right, you're in the gutter and nobody gives a crap about you. When you're a man, you know that, right? Once the champ is beat, that nobody cares. He's in the gutter, nobody gives a crap, people are spitting on him, you know what I mean? Nobody cares. But all of a sudden I'm seeing that this phenomena of women who are, I guess, once champs or were once highlighted for being women in men's sports or whatever, and now that they've gotten beaten, or now that they have failed in their endeavors of trying to pursue these sports, they are getting, even that much more promotion, that much more money, that much more... I just don't believe it. Let me give you one example. Ronda Rousey, okay? Listen, okay, great. She was great when she was knocking dumb broads out that thought that they were going to play some MMA, and they realized that this broad is kind of a stocky broad, and, she could punch decently, she could, whatever, okay? Ronda Rousey was kicking women's asses until she came across an actual fighter of a woman who was an ex-boxer who put her on her ass and made her look like the humble pie that she always was. And I remember that fight. I forgot the broad's name that she was... Because, unfortunately, the broad that beat Rousey, unfortunately, got beat her first defense of the title. But either way, Rousey was just unsportsmanlike, emotionally impulsive, like your typical woman who just can't come to grips with reality, ran out the ring, didn't even bother to shake her competitor's hand, didn't want to do an interview because, the aura and the marketing of Ronda Rousey being the champ is no longer a reality. When she, as a woman, doesn't realize that she was in that fight, and it was her that got beat. And if she should be angry with anybody, she should be angry with herself because she was always a fake, okay? But let's just put it like this. Ronda Rousey now, she is being... I see her face everywhere. She's on WWE now. I mean, only women can fail and then succeed. They can succeed from failures. I mean, can y'all understand what I'm saying? I mean, I see Ronda Rousey every fucking where, man. Everywhere. Yeah, Holly Holmes was the one that put Ronda Rousey on her ass. Thank you, Frankie Mankey. Yeah, Holly Holmes was the one. She was a badass boxer. Put her on her ass. And, look, if that was a man, if Ronda Rousey was a man, she would be in the gutter. No one would care about her, and she'd be lucky if she was shining shoes in a couple of years. And, that men, we accept that. Men are willing to accept that. That's what women don't understand. Men are willing to accept their fate based upon their decisions, based upon their choices, based upon their competitive... I mean, we accept shit. Women don't. And what I don't understand is, you got Ronda Rousey out here, she got knocked on her ass, we should never hear from this stupid dumb skankosaurus again, and yet I can't stop seeing her on my goddamn television screen. She's doing Twizzler commercials, for fuck's sake. I mean, only women can get success from failing. And what precedent does that set when feminists and all these women are all hollering about equality? What precedent does that set? I'm going to give you another example, okay? Let me give you Danica Patrick. Danica fucking Patrick. I cannot stop seeing this little stupid munchkin every time I turn on my television, for Christ's sake. And what did Danica Patrick do? She's done nothing. She was the first little cutesy broad in the Indy car series, and I think she won one Indy car race. I don't even think she won it. I think she may even play second or some shit. Then, for whatever reason, NASCAR was like, well, she's a white woman, and we got a bunch, in NASCAR, we got the same 5 rednecks that win all the damn races anyway. Let's bring that little white munchkin over here, put her in a car, and see if we can't market NASCAR, because America. Anyway, she goes to NASCAR, doesn't win a fucking thing. How long was she at NASCAR anyway? How long was this broad at NASCAR, Danica Patrick? I don't even think a few years, okay? Won nothing, all right? Did nothing, won nothing, and she decides, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire from racing. I'm retiring. Retires from racing, and now she's everywhere. She's doing GoDaddy.com commercials. She hosted the fucking ESPY Awards, for heaven's sake. The ESPY Awards? Oh, I'm telling you, there is no equality, folks, when it comes to male and female in America. Women are a protected class. And I keep underscoring this, and I get fucking mail from all kinds of people suggesting that I'm some kind of a male chauvinist, and I'm some kind of a lizard, I'm some kind of a snake, because I am highlighting reality. And the reality of the social landscape of this country is that women are a protected class at every goddamn level. They're a protected class, and they're still bitching and moaning. And, I feel bad for these young gentlemen that are out here. I talk to young gentlemen out here. A lot of young guys in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, man. I'm talking about anywhere from like 18 to about 45. I think the oldest one is 45. I'm not too sure. Either way, it doesn't matter. I talk to these guys, and a lot of these guys are single, not by choice. They're single because they're scared to go up to women in modern America. Because I'm serious. I talk to these guys. They say that they don't want any kind of rape charges. They don't want a Me Too situation. I mean, they are literally afraid to go up to women because they're afraid that even if they approach them in a certain way, that it's sexual harassment or something. And I'm like, good God, man. I mean, I feel bad for these guys. And listen, I'm going to start advocating this more. I've talked about this in the past on this broadcast. I'm going to advocate this more. For you young gentlemen that are out there that are looking for a significant other, okay? You're looking for a significant other, but you're just too afraid to take a chance with any of these American broads. I strongly advise each and every one of you to import women. Import the women. That's the only solution for you men today. And listen, I would advise you not to import them from Russia, because Russian women are the most devious women on the planet, okay? So just keep that in mind. But if you're going to pick a mail-order wife, if you're going to import a wife, make sure that they come from a culture in which they appreciate the husband. They appreciate the husband based upon what the husband can produce for them. Because in most cultures, folks, most women just want to be fed. They want to be housed. They want to be clothed. They don't want to have problems. They'll cook. They'll clean to reciprocate that type of safety. Because that's what most women want, you know, in these cultures that appreciate the male counterpart. They want safety. They want the safety of finance. They want the safety of being protected. They want the safety of not being hungry. They want safety. And I'm going to tell you why I'm advising all you gentlemen, you young gentlemen out there, to import women. Take your chance on a mail-order wife. I'm not joking. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is when the gentlemen of America start importing these women, they start getting mail-order wives, you're going to find out that you're going to be happy with these mail-order wives, that they're actually going to respect you so long as you're the man and bring home the bacon and are able to kind of suffice whatever it is that this woman feels safe with. These women, American women, are going to look at gentlemen looking happy with their imported women, and you know what? Women who are right now, women in America, the feminists in America, the left of women in America, they are pro-immigration. They are for pro-open borders, right? I guarantee you women in America would fucking reverse their goddamn stance on immigration if they knew that they were being replaced by a bunch of freaking mail-order brides and a bunch of foreign fucking women. I guarantee it! I guarantee you, American women would voluntarily get back in the goddamn kitchen, get acquainted with appliances, learn some fucking cleaning products, learn their way on how to mix fucking spices and all that other shit real quick when you have these women imported from other countries and are actually making American men happy. And remember, gentlemen, all right, you're an American man. You know how many goddamn women in the world want to be an American? You know how many women in the world would do anything to be a part of this country? I'm just saying, folks, this is the strategy that I think that young gentlemen in America need to start doing. All right, we need to start importing the women. And I guarantee you, American women, will reverse their view on immigration real quick if they see a bunch of happy American men with imported brides and mail-order brides. I guarantee it, man. And I know some of you gentlemen are out there thinking to yourselves, but Ghost, if I get a mail-order bride, what if she just gets Americanized and leaves me? Well, at the very least, gentlemen, you will have the experience of being with a female, living with a female, knowing how you feel living with a female, etc. You have that life experience that you're not currently getting, and once you become a bachelor again, maybe you want to be a bachelor. Maybe you realize that, you know what, I don't want some woman living with me. And I mean, you have to have that life experience. And I think that many gentlemen right now, because women are all being riled up by this leftist rhetoric bullshit that I am woman, hear me roar. I mean, women are over 60% of the workforce in America. Women are protected by the legal system in every capacity. I mean, I can go on and on about how women are a protected class. I just talked to you about how Danica Patrick and Ronda Rousey, two losers, are now being rewarded for being the best loser. I mean, that's literally what Danica Patrick and Ronda Rousey are being rewarded for being the best loser. Anyway, folks, I'm just simply stating, gentlemen, go out there, get yourself a mail-order bride. Don't be afraid. Worst case scenario, she gets Americanized or she finds a community of whatever culture she belongs to and she leaves you. Whatever. At least you lived with a woman. At least you can say, yeah, I'm divorced. You know, I'm telling you, nowadays, if you're a man and you say you're divorced, all of a sudden women are like, oh, shit. Well, she made one woman say yes. Let me see this guy over here. Yeah. As a matter of fact, women in today's America, if you have a wedding ring, they want to go up to you because, oh, look at you, you're married. You're obviously making money that I need. Your cock still works because you're still married. I mean, I want that. I want that. Anyway, look, folks, I'm just simply stating there is a protected class of women in America, and we need to start highlighting this. We need to start focusing in on this, and we need to stop not being scared of being called a bunch of, I don't know, misogynist, lizards, snakes, whatever they're going to call us, because it's real. It's real. I mean, just take a look at the two examples. Take a look at how women 85% of the time get the children into divorce, even though they could be the ones cheating themselves. I mean, take a look at how the women can play the child support lottery system, and the welfare system is constructed to where it's incentivized for women to get divorced. I mean, it's ridiculous, all right? That's why I'm telling men right now, consider this. Consider it, young gentlemen. I am not joking. Get yourself a mail-order bride or importer bride. I'm not even saying, mail order. I mean, go on the internet and try to search for some woman in another country. And don't get catfished, all right? Make sure you're video chatting with this woman and, I'm serious. I'm not joking. Import the women. You hear this to me, young gentlemen? MGTOWs, incels, all you people? Import the women and give yourself a life experience. I guarantee you, even if the woman leaves you, you're going to clean yourself up. You're going to start combing your fucking hair. You're going to start taking baths more. I mean, all that shit. You're going to start wearing cologne. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're going to start wearing some better clothes. You need a woman to motivate your dumb, stupid, incel, MGTOW asses. And even if you have to import one, man, do it. Don't rob your life of these experiences, okay? All right, be a fucking man, for Christ's sake. Make a decision. Anyway, with that being said, let me go ahead and get right into the markets here, folks. Look, I had to say it. I'm sorry. There's some people that may be a little offended at what I said, but it had to be said. Anyway, folks, let me go ahead and talk a little bit about cryptocurrency here. Cryptocurrency is currently taking a contraction, but I think that this is going to be very limited, folks. I think that we're going to bounce back this weekend. There are a bunch of indicators of why I believe this. The first indicator, obviously, is the dollar. All right, let's go take a look at the U.S. dollar index at this point in time. The last time I checked, it was down over 0.5%. That is correct. Right now, the dollar index is down 0.72%. The dollar is down 0.72%. So this weekend, that's going to be factored into the price of crypto. It's not right now, but remember that, I think it was probably the weekend previous. Actually, it was this past weekend, in which we ended the week on Friday with the dollar contracting, and that contracted dollar, U.S. dollar, was factored into the cryptocurrency markets. Another factor, folks, is Coinbase with their new investor bigwig Wall Street product. We were talking about this product that Coinbase is giving to Wall Street investors. It's called a coin custody investment financial instrument, meaning that hedge funds and other mutual funds, all these big fund guys that want to invest in cryptocurrency are going to utilize Coinbase to not only invest in the cryptocurrency, but Coinbase is going to take custody and hold those cryptocurrencies in a safe offline wallet so those investments don't get jeopardized by any hacking or anything to that capacity. We talked about that particular financial instrument that Coinbase is providing for Wall Street institutional investors. Well, they just landed a $20 billion whale that is a new client to Coinbase. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because we're going to see more and more institutional Wall Street investors come into the cryptocurrency market, and these guys have billions of dollars to invest, especially now that we have a potential looming contraction in the stock market. And the reason that we may have a looming contraction in the stock market is because of the interest rate hikes that are coming up. Remember, we heard the president today, and thank God. I mean, this is the first president to ever question the independence of the Federal Reserve, and I don't blame the president for doing so. I mean, y'all have heard me on this broadcast. I said that we don't need a strong dollar now that our economy is starting to build itself again. And it seems to me, and I've said this on this broadcast many times, that the Federal Reserve is trying to put a wrench in the Make America Great Again economic policies because, like I said, if the Federal Reserve keeps raising interest rates, the dollar value is going to go higher. Stocks, commodities, and even cryptocurrencies are going to go lower. Now, what this is going to cause in America, it's going to cause people not to spend their dollars. When you've got a dollar raising in value, you don't want to spend your dollars, you want to save those dollars. And all of a sudden, saving those dollars becomes viable again, like having savings accounts and money market accounts and those types of things. So if we have a valuable dollar, folks, and people don't spend their money and they're saving their money, that retards the potential economic growth that we're all expecting with the massive investment that we're seeing come into America from all different directions. And that's why you had President Trump here today and yesterday criticizing the Federal Reserve, because there's no need to raise interest rates at this point in time. Because aside from people holding on to their dollar because it's valuable because the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, we're not going to be able to compete on the world market. I mean, in case in point, China. Okay, China, like the president has said, is a currency manipulator in that China purposely debases their currency so that no one in the outside world economic theater can do business in China. No one in the world economy can do business in China because China's money, their currency is debased. So that means that they can pay, because their currency is debased, their employees lower wages, even though those wages aren't necessarily seen on the world market, because the low standard of living and the low cost, I'm sure, of many goods that are manufactured in China enable the Chinese to be able to have their people participate in the economic model that they're propping up by using a debased currency and having it worth something. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, everything in China is worth less. It's worth less because of the debased currency and because people's perception of that currency is different than that of the world market. And lest we forget, we're also dealing with a market of 1 billion people. So that's why the Chinese have been able to dominate the manufacturing base of the world forever. because they could pay their employees in the Chinese market dirt cheap, even though in the Chinese market, that dirt cheap price is not as dirt cheap as it might seem in the actual micro market of China. So that's why the president is going right after China. I don't know if you heard about this, but the president is about to pull the plug and is about to add tariffs on $500 billion worth of Chinese goods. And the reason we're doing this, folks, is because if China's not going to play ball and is not going to allow the United States to go into their markets and sell products, and is not going to play fair by purposely debasing their currency, the whole thing, we're giving them $600 billion on an annual basis in a trade deficit. There's a lot of things that need to be rectified. If they're not rectified, the president has China by the balls. Because how are they going to offset? Honestly, how are they going to offset the $600 billion that they're used to getting from America on an annual basis from our imbalanced trade deal? Where are they going to make that extra $600 billion? They can't. They can't. They're in a very precarious situation at this point in time, and I'm glad that we have a president that has the balls to pull the trigger like this. I'm not even joking, and I hope that we do put tariffs on over $500 billion worth of Chinese goods, because I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, my sources tell me that the talks between Mexico and the United States are going very good. And I don't know if you heard the president yesterday. The president alluded to the fact that maybe we may have a bilateral economic deal with Mexico. You know that? Maybe they might have, I'm not joking around. Maybe they have and listen, this is really what Mexico could use to bring their economy into something that has never been seen before. And I've talked about this many times. Mexico could be our manufacturing base, because even though the labor cost may be a little bit higher in Mexico from China, the cost to ship the goods is going to be a lot more cheaper. And that shipping cost is going to offset the cheap labor costs of China. So I think even though AMLO, who is the president-elect of Mexico, is a leftist, I think that he understands that, hey, look, I am a leftist, but if I do bring economic prosperity to the people, I'm going to go down in Mexican history as a decent president out here. And at the same time, he's still trying to play both sides. I'm a man of the people, but yet let me do some business with private enterprise. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Mexico. Because I think that, and I've said this before the president was even inaugurated, I said that we could use Mexico as leverage against the Chinese, and I think that's exactly what's culminating at this point in time. But anyway, once again, folks, this is really what's causing a lot of uncertainty in the markets. The fact that the Federal Reserve continues to want to raise interest rates. And like I said, when they raise interest rates, that brings value in the dollar. And then by default, the stocks are going to go down. Everything that's paired up with the dollar is going to go down because the value of the dollar has gone up. There's less dollars in circulation. Remember that. That's how the Federal Reserve recalls all these printed dollars that they've been overprinting for the past 20 years. They recall those outstanding currency notes by raising interest rates. And I'm glad, once again, the president is stepping on the Fed's nuts and saying, look, why are you raising interest rates now? We're just getting out of the recession that Barack Obama kept us in because it was politically convenient for him to do so. We need a dollar that's not necessarily completely debased, but we don't need a valuable dollar at this point in time when we're coming out of a recession. We need the encouraging of spending of money. When you have a valuable dollar, like I said here previous, no one's going to spend it. When the value of the dollar is not that valuable, people are going to spend the money. And the more people exchange that money, the more times money exchanges hands, the more opportunity there is for wealth generation. the more economic opportunity there is for business generation. Remember, we have to have money exchanging hands from a micro level, from a municipal government to the macro level at the nation state. I mean, we have to, man. That's the only way that opportunity and economic opportunity is generated, is when money is exchanging hands. Now, let me get back to crypto. I didn't mean to get off on a soliloquy about a lot of the president's economic stuff, but let me get back to crypto here. Once again, we are seeing a slight contraction, but I personally believe that this is going to be short-lived. I think we're going to see a bounce back by the weekend. The reason I say this, the dollar is down. U.S. dollar is down 0.76%. And I believe that's going to be factored into the price of crypto this weekend. So be on the lookout for another rise in crypto, first and foremost. Secondly, I talked about the Coinbase, how they have a big whale, a $20 billion fund whale, who is participating in their new crypto custody service that they're giving institutional Wall Street investors, which means more and more Wall Street guys are going into crypto investing, which is going to bring more money to the capitalization of crypto itself. Like I said, folks, right now, cryptocurrency, it's not even crawling in its infancy stage. All right, right now is the time to obtain as much cryptocurrency as you can and hold it. Like I said, even if you're not into pattern and swing trading, I mean, now is the time to buy and hold. Just buy and hold. I mean, right now, the current market capitalization for the entire cryptocurrency market is $276 billion. That's nothing. $276 billion for the entire cryptocurrency market. That is absolutely nothing. Like I said, the stock market is over $30 trillion in market cap. I mean, this is not even crawling at its infancy stage. That's why I keep suggesting to those of you on the internet especially, it's time for you to figure out how to obtain crypto, whether you purchase it, whether you provide a product or service, and accept crypto for that product or service, whatever. You mine it, whatever. Get it and hold it. I guarantee you will be thanking me here in about 2 years at best. You will be thanking me in 2 years when you've got thousands upon thousands of unexpected dollars because you decided to go into crypto and hold, all right? I'm just saying we're not even at the crawling phase of this infancy into crypto, all right? Anyway, let's go cover some cryptos and let's move on to the stock market, etc. Let's go ahead and get to Bitcoin. What did I tell you about Bitcoin when it was down to about 6,300, 6,400? I said that we were going to see another run on Bitcoin, and I think that we're currently seeing that in an incremental basis. Right now, Bitcoin is over 7,000. As I stated, I know we have a lot of people in the business media claiming that Bitcoin is going to go up 60,000 at the end of the year, 30,000 at the end of the year. I don't think so. I think that's wishful thinking. My prediction is we'll see it at about 15,000. We may see a contraction. If we don't, if it happens to go over 20,000, then we may see a run to 30,000. But I don't think it's going to get to 20,000. I think that you have a lot of people holding the bag up to about the $15,000 mark, and you're going to have a lot of sell-offs once it gets to about 15,000, 16,000, and it's going to take a lot of buyers to be able to offset those people selling off to be able to even think about going to 20 or 30,000. So I'm just saying, all right, let's go continue on. Bitcoin, BTC is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $125 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 17.1 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone down 1.46%. All right, current price for Bitcoin, $7,338.25 per Bitcoin. Once again, if you're going to ride Bitcoin, just ride it for the next ride upward. After the contraction, after this next ride, I think it's over. I think the ride for Bitcoin is finally over after the next contraction. Like I said, we could see it run up to 15 before we see it contract. But if it by some chance makes it to 20, I mean, remember, that's the highest it's ever gone, Bitcoin, is 20,000. So that means if it goes to 20,000, the market has cleared out all the bag holders and the sky's the limit. Remember that. So a lot of things to consider. And remember, the whole reason why we're seeing a run on Bitcoin, speculation. There's nothing special about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, what only makes it special is that it was the first kid on the blockchain. That's it. All right? I mean, there's nothing special about it. It's got the marketing of top of mind. You know, you ask somebody about cryptocurrency, the first thing that's going to come out their mouth, Bitcoin, you know? Anyway, let's go to Ethereum, folks. This is the second coin that's on the top of mind of folks when you ask them about cryptocurrency. Ethereum, ETH, current market capitalization is $45 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 100 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum has gone down 3.54%. Good God! Current price for Ethereum, $450.07 per Ethereum. Let's get to Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash seems a little bit of a contraction. Once again, this is a contracting market. Current market capitalization for Bitcoin Cash is $13.2 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 17.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Cash has gone down 6.29%. Current price for Bitcoin Cash, 7,000. No, whoa, no, not 7,000. I don't know, every one of you Bitcoin Cash holders are like, whoa! No, $767.78 for Bitcoin Cash, all right? Let's get to Litecoin. Charlie Lee sucks. Let's get to Litecoin. LTC is the symbol. Current market cap is $4.7 billion market cap for Litecoin. Current circulating supply is 57 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Litecoin has gone down 4.27%. Current price for Litecoin is $82.72 per Litecoin. Let's get to Monero, folks. Monero, XMR, is the symbol. It likes to run. Short and patterned term is what I like this one for. Let's go ahead and take a look at the market cap. $2.1 billion market cap for Monero. Circulating supply is 16.2 million in circulation for Monero. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone down 6.88%. Current price for Monero is $129.34 per Monero. Let's get to Dash. Dash is finally in the red, folks. Earlier in the day, it was one of the only few coins actually in the green. So now we're starting to see a lot of sell-offs. Let's take a look at it. Dash, D-A-S-H, is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $2 billion market cap. The circulating supply for Dash is 8.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Dash has gone down 4.78%. Current price for Dash, $247.53 per Dash. All right, let me go ahead and get to Zcash. We're seeing a major contraction in Zcash. But I think it's temporary. A lot of people are just cashing out. You know, you got a lot of bag holders all the way to 800 on this thing. Once again, what have I always told everybody who listens to this broadcast? Long-term investment reigns supreme. Always remember that, all right? Long-term investment reigns supreme. Let's get to Zcash. Symbol ZEC. Current market capitalization is 804 million in market cap. The circulating supply is a very low 4.3 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Zcash has gone down 8.21%. Current price for Zcash, $182.88 per Zcash. Let's get to Quantum, folks. My biggest holding, QTUM. Current market cap is $692 million market cap. The circulating supply is 88 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we saw a lot of sell-offs on Quantum. It is down 6.83%. Current price for Quantum, a very, very viable $7.81 per Quantum. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at ZRX. It went down considerably here. Let's take a look at it. Current market cap for ZeroX is $562 million market cap. The circulating supply is 535 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, ZeroX has gone down 14.58%. Good God. ZeroX current price $1.05 per ZeroX. Now, I want to give everybody's attention to something really fast, all right, before we move on to the stocks. I'm going to give everybody a little bit of a quick tip. Now, I'd like for everybody, believe it or not, to take a look at Bitcoin Diamond. BCD is the symbol, folks. BCD. Now, I know everybody's out there saying, Ghost, wait a minute, I thought you said Bitcoin Diamond sucks a cock with it. Well, it does, technically, folks, it does, but I want to be completely honest. I personally believe that we've got some people that are pumping and dumping this thing and are making lots of money on it. If you take a look at the chart of BCD and take a look at it from late June to the present, and you will see two really huge spikes, which are obviously pumps and dumps. There's obviously a group of people that are playing Bitcoin Diamond as a means of getting mass liquidity. Now, I would strongly advise everybody to keep an eye on Bitcoin Diamond for these types of spikes. Typically, these spikes happen during a contraction in the market. I've been noticing it, so I would strongly advise everybody take a look at the chart. You've got a lot of people holding the bag on a lot of different prices on this coin. I am looking at this for a short-term investment. Like I said, a short-term investment only, okay? I think that we could see a spike, but you got to be on top of Bitcoin Diamond, because as it goes up, as quick as it goes up, it goes down quick, baby. It goes down faster than a French prize fighter, all right? It goes down, baby. So I'm just simply stating, if you want to take a look at a potential proposition, as a potential short-term play, take a look at Bitcoin Diamond, okay? Once again, take a look at the charts for the past month. Take a look at those spikes. I think we're going to have another one. This is obviously a group, and you want to be able to capitalize on this, man. You want to be able to own at least a small piece of this, so that when you see this run up again, you get out and get that capital. You know what I'm saying? It's quick, liquid, very short-term pattern trading play. Let's go ahead and get to Bitcoin Diamond right now, okay? Current market capitalization is $342 million market cap. The circulating supply for Bitcoin Diamond is $153 million circulating supply. 153 million circulating supply for Bitcoin Diamond, all right? In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin Diamond has gone down 3.60%. Current price for Bitcoin Diamond, $2.23 per Bitcoin Diamond. Now, listen, this is a short-term play. This is a potential short-term play. I just point your direction to the two spikes that we've had on this chart. Take a look at the month's chart, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Take a look at those two spikes. I mean, it's obvious that there's some team running this thing up every now and then, and why not be a part of it for the next one? I'm just saying. Why not be a part of Bitcoin Diamond for the next run-up? And if you are going to invest in Bitcoin Diamond, keep your eyes on it, because the goddamn run-up can go up and come down in a night's sleep. I'm not even joking. In a night's sleep. That's why you have to remember, this is cryptocurrency. That means it's money. And money never sleeps, baby. Always remember that. Money never sleeps. Let's go ahead and take a look at some stocks, since we're talking some finance here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial. The stocks were flat today. The stocks were flat, not too much activity. I still think that this is pretty good markings showing that Wall Street trusts Trump. Even amidst any of these so-called tariff wars, the Wall Street are putting their money where their mouth is. They trust Trump. I mean, the Dow is still over 25,000. Let's take a look at it. All right, Dow Jones Industrial is down a mere 6.38 points, a percentage increase of a percentage decrease of 0.03%, closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 25,058.12 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. We got the S&P 500 down 2.66 points, a percentage decrease of 0.09%, closing out the S&P at 2,801.83 points for the S&P 500. We've got the NASDAQ. It's also down today 5.10 points, a percentage decrease of 0.07%. Closing out the NASDAQ at 7,820.20 points for the NASDAQ composite. Now, that is reflective to the contraction that we saw in the dollar today that we spoke of at the beginning of the financial talk here. So, once again, it's very consistent. Let's go ahead and take a look at commodities here. Let's take a look at energy. Now, apparently, we were supposed to see an output production from OPEC. Who the hell knows what's going on? But once again, energy prices continue to go up. And what's a little concerning about energy prices is not just our price of gasoline at the pump, but it's also people who or the shipments of products. I mean, that takes gas money, and if we have energy prices really high, then those prices are going to be relayed to the consumer, which could also hurt the economy. So the president, he's got a lot of monkey wrenches that he's got to get out of the engine, man, and they're not his. They're purposely put there. All right, they're purposely put there, lest we forget that the energy market is completely manipulated by cartels and by people who have a monopoly on oil. All right, and we just talked earlier how the president has criticized the Federal Reserve because the Federal Reserve insists on increasing interest rates when we don't need it. I mean, right now we're coming out of a recession. We don't need value in the dollar. If you put value in the dollar, no one's going to spend those dollars. So that's why I'm saying, man, we don't need a valuable dollar. We need, I'm not saying a debased dollar, but not as valuable a dollar so that we can encourage people to spend those dollars. And if people spend those dollars, the more dollars exchange hands, the more those dollars exchange hands, the more wealth opportunity there is. I hate to keep repeating myself, folks, but we're dealing in a day and age where you've got people actually believing that communism and fucking socialism are a viable alternative, okay? So I'm sorry if I keep repeating shit every now and then, but look at these stupid, dumb, mindless, fluoride, calcified, goddamn mind assholes out here that are promoting socialism and communism. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at energy, all right? Good God, we're in commodities. WTI sweet crude is up $1 today, a percentage increase of 1.44%. Closing out WTI, current price of WTI sweet crude is $70.46 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. We've got Brent crude also up today, 49 cents, a percentage increase of 0.68%. Current price for Brent crude is $73.07 per barrel of Brent crude oil. Gasoline, folks, let me tell you, these futures are going up. I mean, these commodities brokers aren't stupid. Gasoline is up 1.25% on the day. Natural gas is down 0.43%. And heating oil is up 0.68%. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals! We've got gold up $7.10, a percentage increase of 0.58%. Closing out gold at $1,231.10 per troy ounce of gold. Let's get to silver. Silver is up 15 cents, a percentage increase of 0.95%. Closing out silver at $15.15 per troy ounce of silver. Copper is up today. Good God, take a look at copper. It is up 2.24% increase. And platinum is up 2.67% increase for platinum. Let's go ahead and take a look at agriculture. Let's start with grains. Corn is up 1.10% increase on the day. Wheat, take a look at wheat. It is up 2.33% increase. Oats is up 0.53%. Rough rice is up 0.55%. We got soybean up 0.38%. Soybean oil up 1.17%. And canola is down 0.61%. Let's go ahead and get to the soft, shall we? Cocoa, the base of chocolate, it is up today, 1.31% increase. We've got coffee.
Hey, dudes, just don't talk to me, okay? Don't talk to me unless I have my coffee, okay?
Stupid goddamn hipster fruit. Shut up! We've got coffee up 1.70%. We've got sugar. Sugar is up 1.37%. Orange juice is up 0.59%. Cotton is down 0.54%. Lumber is up 0.19%. Rubber is down 0.47%. And ethanol is up 0.56%. Let's go ahead and get to livestock, shall we? Live cattle, it is down 0.36% decrease. Cattle feeder is down 0.50% decrease. And lean hog, folks, it is down 1.82% decrease on the day. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in with me. We're now 2 minutes in to the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast on this Baller Friday. That's right, folks. Before we get into anything else, I'd like for every one of you to please spread this show link around like wildfire, folks. Remember, we are the underground. So if you're listening to this broadcast, wherever you're listening to it, however you're listening to it, you're listening to the political underground. You're listening to the political underground. So spread it around like wildfire. And let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And once again, I love being independent now! Type this in your browser and add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.report. That's what you type in your browser. That's it! Ghost.report. All right? And that is the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. It's that simple. Let me go ahead and get some water. Let me get some high-quality H2O, since yours truly is not consuming any kind of alcoholic beverages here. Some high-quality H2O right there. And by the way, folks, I want to remind everybody, today's the last day. Today's the absolute last day that you can purchase a autograph of yours truly, okay? We're going to take these down by late tonight. I would say about midnight or so. Maybe about 2 in the morning. We got to wait till some of the folks in Europe get up or whatever. We'll wait. We'll wait till tomorrow morning to take them down, all right? Tomorrow morning, because we're going to ship the last autographs that have not been shipped yet. We're going to ship them tomorrow morning. And if you want an autograph of yours truly, well, then, by God, go to my Gab right now. Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. Politics Ghost is the name on Gab. And take a look at the post that states how to purchase a Ghost autograph. All right, and once you do, click the link. click the video link and listen to the instructions on how to purchase an autograph. And look, I'm looking right now at the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Hey, what's going on? People have already gotten their autographs. What's up, man? Hey, I just saw some dude. Hold on. Who is that? Let me scroll up a little bit. Somebody just framed their autograph, and I want to give them props. Hey, Mule Dog, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, if you don't know what the autograph is, by God, get it. Go check it out. Go to my Gab. Click how to purchase a ghost autograph. Remember, they're going to be down tomorrow. You're not going to be able to purchase them again. What it has is the 2018 avatar of yours truly, and it has my signature, my good old John Hancock, and below that it says, give me capitalism or give me death, and on the back it says True Capitalist Radio at ghost.report with a microphone icon. And not only do you get all that, folks, you also get a bottle cap that yours truly actually popped and drank of a Spaten German beer. Even though I'm not drinking now. I'll be back, though. All right, I'll be back, but you will also be getting an authentic Spaten bottle cap that yours truly popped, probably during this broadcast, to be completely honest. I'm not even joking around. You get all that. No shipping whatsoever. It is beautiful. Look at BN King. He also, look at this guy. Everybody is framing the bottle cap and the autograph, man. You guys are great. I'm not even joking, man. Thank you guys for doing that. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Stagia. Look, everybody in the damn chat room is posting and representing, man. Thank you guys, man. Aside from supporting the broadcast, you're also supporting Gab, since we're doing the whole transactions on Gab. And look, Gab has been taking a bad rap in this mainstream media. I mean, like I said, they're trying to be the last bastion of freedom of speech on the internet. And I'm telling you, I mean, you got to support them, man. You got to support independent media. I mean, supporting independent media is very important. Very important. And I want to thank you guys for supporting us, all right? And once again, if you can't support us that way, try to throw us something in the cryptocurrency wishing well. All right, folks? I mean, we've been getting a lot of people contributing to the cryptocurrency wishing well. May all your dreams come true and manifest into reality. I am sending my mental vibes to everybody who has contributed a little bit to the cryptocurrency chat room. Your dreams will come true, man, all right? Woo! Anyway, folks, thank you very much for listening. And, by the way, I want to go ahead and I guess promote one more again the Russian hackers apparel, folks. Have y'all seen the Russian hackers apparel? Let me go ahead and post it one more again because, I mean, we need to troll this in the faces of everybody. I mean, we need to make this whole Russian hacker, Russia-Trump nonsense a meme, a nothing burger, a ridiculous bunch of crap. And the way to do that is to, you know, like wear a shirt or a hoodie. Look at my Gab right now. Wear something like that. If you have not seen the Russian hacker shirt, I mean, take a look at it. It's of what looks like Vladimir Putin in a hoodie in front of a laptop, and on below it says Russian hacker, all right? Russian hackers. And look, if you're not going to purchase one, if you want to support the show, folks, just take the link of the Russian hacker shirt, okay? Take the link and post it on your Facebook. Post it on your Twitter. Post it on your social media. Believe me, it's not affiliated with the show, okay? So if you're worried about,
oh my God, I mean, I would promote Ghost, but I don't want anybody to know that I listen to True Capitalist Radio.
Don't worry. If you go and help promote the link to the Russian hacker shirt, you're not going to be promoting the show, but you'll be helping the show. And not just helping the show, folks. You're going to be helping meme this bullshit narrative that Russian hackers elected Trump and that Russian hackers are these supreme overlords of the internet or some shit. We gotta make this Russian hackers crap the joke that it is. It's a fucking joke. That's why I created the damn shirt. It's a joke. So once again, if you're not going to purchase a Russian hacker t-shirt, I understand, but please post it on your Gab, please post it on your Twitter, please post it on your Facebook. Believe me, you'll be supporting the show. And look, you taking a look at the description, there's no mention of the show on there. So let's turn this into a meme and help the broadcast at the same time, all right? Anyway, now that we've gotten that all out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into the crux of the broadcast, shall we? Let's go ahead and talk about the president. Now, once again, we are still talking about the Trump-Putin summit. We have got much to do about nothing, like I've said throughout every broadcast this week. You have the media just adding lies and slander to whatever narrative that they're trying to build out of this meeting that Trump had with Putin. Now, as all of you know, I am no fan of Putin. I am no fan of Russia. I actually don't like Russians, and I told everybody why. But regardless, if Trump had done anything that jeopardized the national security, or jeopardized the integrity, or jeopardized anything about America, I would be the first one to say it. But folks, I've been telling you throughout the week that this whole this whole Trump-Putin summit was a nothing burger. I mean, all it was meant to bring these two countries together in an attempt to mend fences. I mean, there was no written agreements. There was no capitulation. I mean, nothing culminated from that meeting. And I have to agree with Trump on this, and I'm glad that he has stated this several times, that America and Russia comprise 90% of the nuclear weapons in the world today. 90% of the nuclear weapons reside with Russia and America. Now, I agree with Trump that you have to at least establish some type of a dialogue when you have a foe with that many nuclear weapons. I mean, that many nuclear weapons is mutual assured destruction. Now, with that being said, I do agree with Trump that being friendly with Russia actually aids America, not being enemies with Russia. Now, I'm going to be blunt about what I believe Trump is doing with this negotiations with Putin, because that's what's happening. It's the art of the deal right before our very eyes. And you know what I like about Trump as well? I love this about this guy. While the whole goddamn mainstream media and the establishment political class in Washington, D.C. are triggered over this summit, all right, what does Trump do? He doubles down and says, well, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite Putin over to the White House. There's nothing you can do about it. And if anybody got a fucking problem, you can suck my cock. I mean, that's what he's... I'm serious. Did y'all hear? He is going to invite Putin to Washington, D.C. this fall. And I know he announced that to trigger these damn mainstream media folk and the establishment in Washington, D.C. And listen, what is it really going on here? I mean, what is it really? Is it really about Putin? Or is it about a certain status quo that has been propagated by Washington, D.C. for the past 30 to 40 years, and that's globalism? Globalism. I mean, this new world order that many of the so-called conspiracy theorists would talk about. And look, that new world order was emerging, folks. The consolidation of power. The building of international institutions to centralize power. As I've stated many times, the European Union is a communist idea. I mean, what was the last country to call itself a union? The Soviet Union. The first communist nation state. That's why they're trying to consolidate all these continents into unions, and units, but unions. You know, you've got the African Union. The African Union, we just talked about that months ago. They announced it. The African Union is in effect. The European Union is in effect. They're trying to culminate the Asian Union, but the Asians hate each other so much, it's been a little bit more difficult to create. During the Bush Jr. and Obama administrations, they tried to implement the North American Union. That's what that whole NAFTA bullshit was about. That was an economic agreement in an attempt to consolidate the three countries that signed the agreement into a union, the North American Union. Y'all remember that? I'm serious, man. I mean, this was signed. Who signed it? It was George W. Bush, Vicente Fox, and whoever the hell the Prime Minister of Canada was at the time. But with the election of Trump, folks, all that has changed. All that has changed. The world order has been reshifted and restructured. And that's why Trump is thumbing its nose at these institutions that are supposed to be our allies and are exposing them for the greasy communist slime balls that they are. And I'm talking about the European Union. I mean, let's be completely honest. The European Union is it's a communist idea. It's the centralization of power. All the nation states that comprise the European Union have consolidated their power to a bunch of bureaucrats in Brussels, Belgium. And what have them bureaucrats in Brussels, Belgium done? They were the ones that brought in these Yehudis under a so-called guise of refugee, taking them in for political reason, whatever they sold the Europeans on, they allowed these migrants to come in masse. And folks, it's changing the whole landscape of Europe. I mean, y'all remember when they first started bringing them in? Remember in 2015, 2016? And what started happening? Remember New Year's Eve 2016, 2017? Remember Champagne, Germany? Or Cologne, Cologne, Germany, Maybe I want some champagne. Cologne, Germany? Remember when all those women got sexually assaulted and raped and the German government just brushed it under the rug? Look at all these women that are getting raped out there in Sweden by these Yehudis, and they're just brushing it under the rug. Because, folks, this is what communists do. They're totalitarian freaks. They want to make the decisions for masses of people. And because the European Union has gotten so much power and so much consolidation of power, they have made all the nation states that once comprised the European Union nullified. And now that they brought in these migrants to influx Europe, they're trying to eliminate the racial makeup of all the cultures, all the countries that comprise the European Union. They're trying to eliminate the race, the culture, the history of it all. I mean, doesn't the European Union have like some kind of a holiday where they talk about it's New Europe and they have some techno shit and all that? Am I right? It's a new Europe. That's what they're talking about. They want a new Europe where the entire European Union is its own consolidated race, consolidated economics, consolidated politics, etc. That's socialism, that's communism. And if you ask anybody in the European Union, any citizen of the European Union, they'll tell you that there is no freedom. There is no freedom. They're a subject to a communist state. That's what they are. I mean, go to Germany right now. Try to go online and talk garbage about the refugee situation in Germany and see if your fucking house doesn't get knocked on. Same thing with the UK. I mean, this is what's happening. That's why Donald Trump's election was so important. Because the consolidation of power has halted. And the individuals in back of this globalist institutionalism have died off, conveniently enough, because like I've said, folks, politics is a dirty business. A lot of people have been dying. Okay? And a lot of people are going to continue to die because politics is power, nothing more. I mean, y'all remember, once Trump was elected, Brzezinski, remember the grand chessboard writer, the foreign policy maker, he died. Once Trump was elected, David fucking Rockefeller died. You know, David Rockefeller had 6 fucking heart transplants, a kidney transplant, all that shit. I mean, you notice this. These old sacred cows, these individuals who have propagated this whole New World Order, this whole consolidation of global power bullshit, they're all falling by the wayside. And what we're seeing now is a restructuring of the global order. And that's what Trump is trying to do right now through the art of the deal, through his diplomacy, is trying to restructure that new order, that world order. And that world order is based upon superpower nation states, not about a consolidated group of nation states under one super communist state. And not to mention, they've made communism not just out of consolidating countries into the European Union. They've done it through these damn economic agreements. You know, the TPP that Obama was about to throw us into? I mean, these are economic agreements made by a plethora of different countries in which if we oblige this written agreement supersedes American domestic laws. And that incrementally gives away American sovereignty. That's how these people have been able to take America from the superpower we were about 30 to 40 years ago and turn us into this barely alive, technocratic, almost third world stupid country, because they have incrementally just kind of brought us into this globalist system. And not to mention, folks, we've been funding the globalist system. And that's what the president is disgusted of. That's what he's sick of. That's what he's putting an end to. I mean, the Paris Climate Accord, we paid for that shit. The United Nations, we paid for that shit. NATO, we paid for that shit. All these global institutions, the United States paid for it, the United States taxpayer paid for it, and we're not going to pay for this shit anymore. And that's what President Trump represents. That we're America, damn it. We created this whole fucking game. And what, you're going to put us in the fucking back? Huh? You're going to put us in the back of the bus? Fuck you! Fuck you! We're going to Rosa Parks our asses. We're going to Rosa Parks our asses in the fucking front, whether you fucking dumb globalist pieces of shit like it or not. I'm going to try to put us in the back of the bus. We're going to Rosa Parks reserve our asses a fucking seat at the front of the bus, and there's nothing none of you fucking globalists can do about it. Your whole globalism is withering away right before your very eyes. I mean, take a look at the European Union. It's already fallen apart. You've got based Poland, based Hungary, wanting to get the fuck out of it. You've got Italy no longer accepting migrants. All right, they're even turning away their own ships from their ports if they find out there's any migrants on it. They're tired of it. They understand what's going on in the European Union. They are eliminating the cultures, they are eliminating the races and the history of Europe. Now, the president and his restructuring of the world order understands that if we not make nice or be allies with Russia, but have a mutual understanding with Russia, much like the mafia. And I hate to use the mafia, the Italian mafia that is, as an example, but it's the truth. The mafia in Italy, the old Italian mob, there was an old saying, keep your friends close, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And I think that's exactly the strategy that Donald Trump is using when it comes to trying to talk with Putin. Because once again, if we're friendly, not friends, not allies, but if we're friendly with Russia, and because we have 90% of the nuclear weapons in our possession, all of a sudden Russia and America become the superpowers like we once were again. And we offset who? China. We offset China. That's right, folks. That's what it really comes down to, in my opinion. This butting up to Putin is an attempt to try to solidify some level of a friendly relationship with the Russians so that they can aid us in our strategy of isolating China. Now, I'm not too sure if you're familiar with China's 2025 policy, but they want to be the global currency. They want to be the global superpower. They want to do all this rapid facilitation of them being the sole superpower in the globe by 2025. Look it up for yourself. Google up China 2025, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And you see, this is what this attempt at trying to establish diplomacy with Russia is all about. It's to put China in a corner. Because China emerging as a superpower benefits nobody. It doesn't benefit the Russians, even though these people are supposedly, communists. I mean, the Chinese and the Russians have never gotten along. They've never gotten along. I mean, Khrushchev thought that Mao Zedong was nuts. I mean, if we want to go back in history, and the reason is because Mao Zedong was begging the United States, right after we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Mao Zedong was begging the United States to throw the bomb at China. He was begging the United States, throw the bomb at China. And Khrushchev thought that this was completely insane. And, after that, they never really did any kind of close business with China. China was kind of its own rogue, nationalist, communist variant. That's why, Maoism, it's its own variant of communism. You hear about people, I'm a Marxist-Leninist, or I'm a Maoist. Maoist, or Maoism, is its own variant of communism, which contradicts Marx itself, because Marx, he didn't want nationalism. He wanted to eliminate nationalism. He wanted to eliminate boundaries and borders. And here you have the Chinese communists who utilize nationalism and race, Chinese race, as a means to take over the country of China itself. So once again, I'm just giving you a little bit of a synopsis of history between China and Russia on the reason why the president is going and trying to establish diplomacy with Russia. Because if we can establish diplomacy, and we can establish that we have a mutual interest in making sure that China doesn't become a superpower, and because the United States and Russia have 90% of the nuclear weapons, we can be able to suppress China. And not to mention, lest we forget, folks, that India is not very favorable to China. It's been poking at the eye of China, and China's been bowing down to it. I said that before the BRICS summit last year, that the Indians from India were literally poking the eye of China over this disputed area of Bhutan. And it wasn't until the BRICS summit in which, Modi and Xi Jinping were hugging and kissing or whatever, but still, I mean, the Indians are begging for a war with China. As a matter of fact, I want to be honest with you, it would economically benefit India if there was a war with China, and it would socially benefit it as well, because believe it or not, India actually has a bigger population than China, even though it's a smaller country geographically. Okay? And that's why China's a little scared shitless of them, because they have a formidable force that can meet them and match them man for man in the battlefield. And not to mention, folks, we're going to talk about this later, Pakistan. I don't know where Pakistan lies anymore when it comes to China. Because lest we forget, in last year's BRICS summit, China denounced its one, historical ally, Pakistan, as a harborer of terrorism. So once again, folks, this is really what it comes down to, the reshifting of the world order. And in my view, I think the president understands this, and the president is trying to set a legitimate line I wouldn't say of friendship. I wouldn't say of, like, we're allies, but of understanding, of respect. Because we both, Russia and the United States, have a vested interest in suppressing China. And I don't think it's an accident today. The president said he's ready to pull that trigger on putting tariffs on over $500 billion worth of Chinese goods. He doesn't care what China does. You know what China's doing right now? They are putting tariffs on agrarian commodities, specifically that are produced in areas of the country that were pro-Trump. I mean, China's playing dirty. I mean, China is purposely putting tariffs on crops and agrarian commodities in kind of swing states that were pro-Trump in 2016. I'm telling you, this is how politics works, man. It's slimy. And that's why you have the president now talking to Putin. I mean, if we can have some level of respect with one another, we can suppress China. We've got 90% of the nuclear weapons on our side. I mean, the United States and Russia could rule the world. And we could rule it in our capacity in the way we want. We're restructuring the whole globalist system, man. I told you when Trump was elected back in those old episodes before he was inaugurated that this man was going to change the world. It would be the end of globalism. And that's what's happened. That's what's happened. Now, you've got the media and the establishment claiming that Trump is undermining the so-called intelligence that proves that there was meddling in our elections by Russia, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I have been trying to tell everybody, and I'm glad the president has underscored this. He must, like I said, he listens to the broadcast. But I'm glad he is underscoring this, that the indictments that have been put out by the Department of Justice and Robert Mueller indicting these so-called Russian hackers, these indictments come from the evidence that has been extracted from the DNC servers. The only problem, the DNC servers were never inspected by the FBI, okay? The hacked DNC servers were not inspected or investigated by the FBI Forensic Computer Lab. Instead, the Democrats and the DNC refused the FBI the access to the servers and sent their servers to a private third-party computer forensic analysis company. Now, the name of that company, folks, is called CloudStrike. That's right, CloudStrike. Now, the DNC sent their hack servers to CloudStrike and refused the FBI to investigate their servers. So whatever findings that the whatever findings that the DOJ is using as a means of evidence to indict these Russians in this latest indictment is based on the forensic investigation of the private party CloudStrike. Now the problem? The person who owns CloudStrike, the computer forensic group, was actually very close in the FBI working with Robert Mueller. Oh, that's right. CloudStrike, the fucking idiot who owns it, not only worked with Robert Mueller, but he was personally promoted by Robert Mueller. Do you see how all the swamp, it all comes full circle? All these disgusting scumbags in Washington, D.C. all protect each other. And that's why us, as the United States citizens, have to be vigilant. And we have to keep our eyes open. And once we see the corruption, we've got to scream, "You corrupt bastard!" And never stop screaming, so that the message gets across and even penetrates the psyche of Mr. and Mrs. Joe Sixpack in America. That's exactly right. And that's why I'm telling you, and not only am I telling you, the president is telling you, where are the servers? Where are the DNC servers? We want to see the servers. That's why the intelligence is suspect as it relates to these so-called indictments that the DOJ under Robert Mueller's special counsel put out last Friday. Remember, dumbass Rosenstein came out, yes, we got 12 indictments for 12 Russian hackers, and they did phishing. They did, what do you call it, spear phishing? Stupid idiot. Anyway, look, folks, this is how corrupt our goddamn system is. And unless we start getting politically serious, folks, and that's why this show has turned politically serious, man. That's why this show's turned politically serious, because look at the deep state. Look at the swamp in Washington, D.C. They're not going to stop. That's why those of us, a part of the people that participate in this political process, have to take shit serious. Because once again, this is a government made for the people and by the people. But if the people fall asleep at the wheel, by God, if the goddamn people fall asleep at the wheel, we're going to see what has been happening to this country for the past 40 years. For the past 40 years, that's what we're going to see over and over and over again. So it's time for us to wake up. Damn it. How come you don't hear about that in the media? How come you don't hear about the fact that these little DOJ, Robert Mueller, Russian indictments are based upon CloudStrike's private investigation of the DNC servers? And not to mention the guy that owns CloudStrike worked with Robert Mueller when Robert Mueller was the director of the FBI. Robert Mueller personally promoted this son of a bitch that owns CloudStrike. Oh, good God, man. How much more corruption do we have to expose before we realize that not only is this Russia-Trump bullshit, this Robert Mueller crap, a witch hunt, it's all a bunch of crime and criminality that is infested in Washington, D.C., and these people are supposed to be representing us. These criminals in Washington, D.C. are supposed to be representing us, for Christ's sake. That's why we gotta be politically serious, damn it! Wake up! Get politically serious, damn it! This is not a fucking joke anymore! Christ! Give me my freaking water, for Christ's sake. Fucking serious, man. But, you know, you wouldn't know by our media, right? You wouldn't know by our media. Our media's out here claiming that our president's committing treason because he's trying to open up diplomatic channels with Putin. I mean, it is just disgusting, man. It is just, you know what? All of you people in the media, all you people in the political establishment, your globalist is showing. Your globalist is showing, and I'm telling you, this is what makes the 2018 midterm election so damn important. And that's why I'm calling on all of you, folks. I'm telling you, I don't think many of you that are listening to me are taking it very serious. I mean, I very rarely see people repost or regab or like any of the posts that I'm posting here, and I'm posting actual factual information. When I posted that Peter Strzok, the FBI agent that with the hate messages to his lover Lisa Page, when I said that Peter Strzok, and I gabbed that Peter Strzok was raised in Iran, barely anybody reposted it. Barely anybody liked it. And folks, disseminating the information is the most important. It's vital! So it can be in the faces of everybody. It can be in the faces of Mr. and Mrs. Joe Sixpack. It can be in the faces of these fucking liberals. You gotta put it in their faces, man! Fuck! I mean, don't you people understand? 2018 is just as serious, if not more serious, than 2016! I'm calling on you, damn it! Get off the fucking sidelines and get on the front line, because the front line's right outside your fucking door! Shit! Wake up! I don't know what else I've got to say. I don't know what else I've got to do, for Christ's sake, man. I don't know what else I got to do. I don't know what else I got to do, man. It makes me sick. And not to mention, undermining the intelligence, huh? Is that what the mainstream media and the political class are going to be shoving down our throats? That we need to trust our intelligence communities, for Christ's sake? The same intelligence community that told us that there were weapons of mass destruction? The same intelligence community that claimed that Benghazi was nothing more than a videotape? Huh? I mean, seriously, man. I mean, this underscores that there's major problems, not only in our intelligence agencies, but the FBI and the DOJ. The deep state, these unelected bureaucrats, because you notice these are all unelected bureaucrats that are causing all this ruckus, that are jeopardizing the very integrity of our institutions of government. It's all a bunch of unfucking elected bureaucrats. Anyway, man, like I said, I personally believe that what's going on with the reestablishment of diplomatic relations with Russia has to do with keeping your friends close, your enemies closer, the restructuring of the global order, and obviously to put pressure on China, man. Put pressure on China. But since we're talking about Robert Mueller, let me go ahead and switch the subject matter. Let's talk about Robert Mueller's special counsel. Aside from it costing taxpayers over $20 million up at this point, I wonder where the fuck that money's going from. And aside from the fact that there has been no Russia-Trump collusion whatsoever, Paul Manafort is going to be prosecuted by Robert Mueller this Wednesday in Virginia, because Paul Manafort's trial starts this Wednesday. Now, remember when I had said throughout this week and last week, folks, that why hasn't Mueller gone after the Podesta brothers? Because the Podesta brothers did the exact same thing as Paul Manafort. As a matter of fact, they were a part of the whole Ukrainian shit that Paul Manafort is being prosecuted for. And not to mention, Paul Manafort is being prosecuted for not registering as a foreign agent, which is the same thing that the Podesta brothers didn't do, etc. I mean, I kept asking and asking. Y'all remember, folks, right? How come Mueller is not doing anything to the Podesta brothers? Well, I'll tell you why, folks. All right? Robert Mueller is giving Tony Podesta immunity to testify against Paul Manafort. Oh, the swamp! How much more corruption do you fucking need, for Christ's sake? This is what Washington, D.C. is. It's criminality. It's corruption. Yeah, Robert Mueller is giving Tony Podesta immunity to testify against Paul Manafort. Is there any justice in this fucking banana republic anymore? Y'all remember, folks, for the past fucking at least 6 shows, I have been asking this question: why hasn't Robert Mueller gone after the Podesta brothers? Well, by God, now we know why, huh? Now we know why. Robert Mueller is going to give immunity to Tony Podesta for his fucking testimony against Paul Manafort. Even though the Podesta brothers have done the exact same thing as Paul Manafort. I mean, this is just disgusting, folks. I feel bad for Paul Manafort. I'm not joking around. This guy is they're trying to throw him away for life in prison. Life in prison! When all he was a political consultant, for Christ's sake. He does the same thing that the Podesta brothers do, and yet the Podesta brothers aren't going to go to prison. Because they're good friends with Robert Mueller, huh? Hey, Robert Mueller, do you ever go to Tony Podesta's house, Robert Mueller? Let me think about that. I wonder how many times Robert Mueller went to the house of Tony Podesta and saw those sick fucking pedophile artworks all over goddamn Podesta's wall, and, oh, you know what there, Tony? That's a great painting right there. Look at those, the painting of those little children in underwear. Yeah, look at that, that's great. Oh, look at that sculpture of a Jeffrey Dahmer victim. That's great. These people are sick, folks. You need to realize that. I mean, the swamp is protecting themselves, and that's why these broadcasts, independent media is so important, and that's why you got to fucking support independent media, man. You're not going to hear this truth anywhere else. You know, the things that are said on this broadcast, you're not going to hear it in mainstream media. You've got to research these facts for yourself, man, and not everybody has the time, effort, or energy to do it. That's why you tune in to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, baby. Once again, Robert Mueller offering Tony Podesta immunity to testify against Paul Manafort. And why is Paul Manafort again being targeted by Robert Mueller? Because lest we forget, Paul Manafort got the delegates for Donald Trump. And like I've told each and every one of you, politics, it's not beanbag. Like my friend Roger Stone says, politics ain't beanbag. And I'm sure, I don't have any evidence of this, but I'm very sure that Paul Manafort used a lot of skeletons in the delegates' closets to persuade them to, you know, make sure to vote for Trump when it comes down to the GOP convention. And I'm sure that Paul Manafort had to do those types of dirty deeds, and it left a bad taste in the mouth of those in the establishment GOP upper echelon. And I don't think it's an accident that he's being targeted so harshly and so unjustly like he has. And I feel bad for Paul Manafort, because all Paul Manafort did, folks, he wasn't even a part of the damn Trump campaign for more than a couple of months. And the only reason he was brought in was to bring the delegates to Trump. And he did that. I mean, that's what he does. He's a great political consultant. But no, now, you know, for doing that, he's going to have to be thrown in prison for life, because Mueller, you know, he's got some vendettas over here, you know? Jesus Christ, man. Freaking corruption everywhere, and yet nobody's saying a goddamn thing about it, you know? Corruption everywhere. Corruption goddamn everywhere. Anyway, on the bright side, folks, we do have some people within the Freedom Caucus and the GOP trying to move to impeach the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel, because, let's be honest, Rod Rosenstein, aside from him being a little twerp, smug, smirky little faggot, he is obviously corrupt, because the House Judiciary and Oversight and Intel Committees have been demanding documents from the Department of Justice and the FBI for the past year, and for whatever reason, because they're obstructing, but for whatever reason, the DOJ and the FBI refuse to hand over documents to the Oversight and the Judiciary Committees, which have oversight over their departments. The Judiciary has authority over the Department of Justice. And the Judiciary Committee has subpoenaed many times these documents relating to the Hillary Clinton email investigation and to the Russia-Trump investigation. And Rosenstein, because he's the acting Attorney General since Jeff Sessions recused himself and he's in a back room jerking himself off to old episodes of Andy Griffith. But, you know, Rod Rosenstein over here is, for whatever reason, stalling in giving the Judiciary, the Oversight, and the Intel Committees the documents that they're subpoenaing and requesting. Now, obviously, the reason that they're not giving those documents is because it will implicate their agencies into some very corrupt, if not criminal, activities. And because you have members of the House who are a part of these committees being very aggressive in trying to obtain these documents, Rod Rosenstein, according to Jim Jordan, according to Gohmert and a couple of other congressmen, all right, Rosenstein has actually threatened the aides of these congressmen, threatened to confiscate and subpoena their laptops, their cell phones. I mean, this is a veiled threat by Rod Rosenstein. I mean, Jim Jordan, Representative Jim Jordan, he's highlighted this very vocally, and unfortunately I think that this whole wrestling, sexual abuse bullshit that is surrounding Jim Jordan is a direct correlation with him being so vocal against Rod Rosenstein. I mean, remember, he even questioned Rod Rosenstein when he was testifying in front of the Judiciary Committee. He questioned Rod Rosenstein on why he is threatening the aides of congressional members of these committees. And Rod Rosenstein, of course, didn't answer the question because he's a dumb, stupid, pathetic, bureaucratic, sniveling ass crack that needs to be impeached is right. And that's exactly what the Freedom Caucus and members of the GOP Congress are trying to do. They're going to move to impeach Rod Rosenstein, all right? I mean, seriously, man. I mean, what is it going to take? What is it going to take to impeach Rod Rosenstein when he refuses to give documents to a committee that has oversight and authority over his Department of Justice? What else are you going to do? And you've got Rosenstein trying to threaten the aides of these congressmen, saying that they're going to subpoena the aides and subpoena the cell phones and the computer and email. I mean, this is a threat. I mean, what is Rosenstein and for all due respect, Director of FBI Christopher Wray, what are they fucking hiding, man? What are you hiding? Just give the documents. Don't give us this bullshit that is going to compromise national security, that is going to compromise agents in the field. That's crap. That is utter crap. The reason you refuse to give the documents is because it's going to implement your agencies in crimes. That's why. And, you know, according to the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Chairman Devin Nunes, he said many times here recently that he feels the DOJ and the FBI are banking on the Democrats winning the midterms in 2018. And that's why they're stalling on the documents that are being subpoenaed by the Judiciary and Oversight Committees, because Nunes believes that that's what they're banking on. That's why they're kind of kicking the can down the road. That's why they're not, obliging any of these subpoenas, because the closer and closer they get to the 2018 election, and if the Democrats win, all this goes away. You know that, right? And that's what Nunes has been trying to get at in many different interviews, that if the Democrats win the 2018 election, you can forget about any justice happening to any of these corrupt pieces of trash that have been implicated in literally trying to supersede the authority of a sitting president and trying to remove a duly elected president. And that's, once again, I hate to underscore this once again, that's what makes the 2018 election so goddamn important, folks. I mean, if you're an American, man, you better go out there and you better vote Republican. All right? I mean, this is very important, because we will see no justice by the abuse of authority, the criminal abuse of a power of these assholes. We will not see it. We will not see any justice. And I believe Devin Nunes. I think that's exactly what the DOJ and the FBI are banking for. Democrats win in the 2018, all this becomes a memory. All the obstruction by Rosenstein, all the Peter Strzok and Lisa Page texts, all the bias, it all goes away. It all goes away. And no one will go to justice. So at this point, folks, I mean, you want justice to these corrupt criminals? If you want justice to these assholes who jeopardize the integrity of the Department of Justice and the FBI, it's time for you to go out and vote Republican, man, so we can get these sons of bitches out and we can start pursuing the Make America Great Again policy and everything that we have been campaigning for since 2016. I hope that the Freedom Caucus and the GOP House members have enough people to be able to pass an impeachment on Rod Rosenstein, because something needs to be done. I mean, the only person that can fire Rosenstein is the president. And unfortunately, if he fires Rod Rosenstein, I mean, you know how this press and media and the establishment, I mean, it is a very precarious political climate for the president right now. And, I mean, he needs his Republican Party to start backing him up and fighting for him. And I hope that the Freedom Caucus, once again, and the GOP congressional members have enough fucking people to impeach this asshole. All right? I mean, because if not, then we're just going to continue to see corruption, man. And once again, we got to vote Republican 2018, man. We got to. And look, I mean, I don't really agree with all the Republicans that are running. But we have to know that whoever's running for Republican is going to vote for whatever Donald Trump wants to initiate as law. Because we don't need obstructionists, especially from our own Republican Party. That's why the Make America Great Again policies haven't been implemented and facilitated fast enough, because not only do we have obstructionists in the Democrat Party, we have obstructionist rhino assholes, anti-Trumper jerk dicks in the Republican Party. And, you know, how the hell are we going to get past that? How are we going to get past that when we got rhinos and jerk dicks in our own party that are trying to stop the president from fulfilling campaign promises that he made in 2016? That's why there is no other choice for 2018. There is no other choice. Republicans, why do you think you've got James Comey in a tweet telling the American people to vote for Democrats? I mean, they know, the Department of Justice and the FBI know, if the Democrats are elected, there is no prosecution of any of these corrupt jerk-offs. And doesn't that show FBI bias right there, folks, huh? The fact that James Comey, as a private citizen now, is encouraging and demanding that the American people vote in Democrats, for Christ's sake, doesn't that underscore his bias? Doesn't that underscore the bias in the FBI, for Christ's sake? Oh, God, man. I mean, if there's no justice on this, if there's no fucking justice, I don't know what to do. I mean, what are we supposed to do as American people? I mean, just imagine, folks, had you been Peter Strzok doing something similar in the private sector, you'd be thrown in prison, all right? First of all, you'd be thrown in jail until your trial, and then you'd be thrown in prison. I mean, I thought we lived in America where nobody was above the law. And if that's the case, then we can't let these culprits who tried to supersede the authority of the American people by trying to remove a duly elected president, we gotta make sure they're fucking brought to justice! Do you understand that? We gotta make sure that these pieces of crap are brought to justice! And how are we gonna do that? We've gotta take things serious, damn it! We gotta take politics serious, damn it! We gotta take economics serious, damn it! You gotta take things serious, damn it! Are you hearing me? You gotta take things serious, damn it! Damn! Fuck! Give me my water! I don't know how much more I gotta underscore it to you goddamn milky liquors. You gotta take things serious! That's why this show is fucking serious, all right? That's why we got rid of Radio Graffiti and shout-outs and all that bullshit, man. These leftists are taking shit serious. These deep state assholes are taking shit serious. We, the right wing, the capitalists, we have to be politically serious. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? The capitalists! We have to be politically serious. Damn it! Is anybody out there? Is anybody listening? Is anybody out there? Is anybody fucking listening? Christ! God damn it! God damn it! Jesus Christ. Anyway, we're now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on any goddamn thing else, I want to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, for fuck's sakes. It's just a fucking click. Spread it. Spread it all over the internet and throughout the world, for Christ's sake, man. This show is the underground. This show is the underground. Don't you understand that? The straight political dope is what you get on this fucking show. Spread it around! Spread it around! And have everybody go to the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And like I said, type this in your browser, add this to your favorites, for Christ's sake, ghost.report, all right? It's as simple as that. You type that in your browser, ghost.report. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to ask you to please, if you have not gotten a free account on Gab, well then by God, get one. Get one, for Christ's sake, and follow me on Gab under the name Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Gab, folks. And by the way, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby? If you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, well then, by God, go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab and click the subscribe button for premium content, boy, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, because that's where our chat room is, Discord. Send me your Discord chat name and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast chat room. It's a great chat room, man. Aside from us talking some serious business about politics, economics, social landscape, international relations, cryptocurrency, etc., we have some pretty good goddamn tomfoolery, if I don't say so myself, all right? We have some pretty good tomfoolery. Sometimes we're up late nights, prank calling all kinds of... Look, I don't want to talk about it, all right? But we have a method in which we can prank call people, and we actually patch it into the chat room, so anybody who's on voice chat can actually participate in the prank call. Can you believe? It's funny. I'm not joking. It's great. It's great, for Christ's sake, man. Let me tell you something. If you're not a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, then you're missing out, man. All right, come on down. Come to my damn chat room. If you want to be a part of it, Politics Ghost, go to my Gab, Politics Ghost, and click the subscribe button for premium content. And once you do, private message me with your chat name, your Discord chat name, and I'll give you a private invitation. And once again, last call for autographs. Last call for autographs, all right? Now, for you folks that are unaware, this is the last call for autographs. If you scroll down 2 posts on my Gab account to the post that states how to purchase a Ghost autograph, click that link, click that video, and listen to the instructions on how to obtain an autograph from yours truly, baby. I mean, come on, man. These are going to be relics one day. And aside from the autograph, you get I'm not joking, folks. I popped these bottle caps. I popped these goddamn Spaten bottle caps. You will get a Spaten bottle cap as well as yours truly's autograph. And let me tell you, have you taken a look at how much spot and bottle caps cost, for Christ's sake? I think on eBay they're like 4 for like $6 or something. I'm not even joking around. Have y'all seen this crap? So you're getting all kinds of crap. You're getting relics upon relics of yours truly, for Christ's sake, man. So once again, last call for autographs. So if you want an autograph, go to my Gab account right now. Scroll down to the post that states how to purchase a ghost autograph. Click the link, gab.ai/tv/watch/18436. And listen to the video, and it'll give you instructions on how to purchase a autograph from yours truly. And by the way, you will not be able to purchase an autograph after tomorrow morning. You will not be able to purchase an autograph after tomorrow morning, so if you want one, you better get one right now. You better get one right now, because we are sending the remainder of whatever's left that needs to be sent out. We are sending it out tomorrow morning. Last call for autographs. Anyway, let me move on with the broadcast. Once again, we were talking about how the Freedom Caucus and other members of the GOP in Congress are moving to impeach Rod Rosenstein. Hopefully, this is the case. And moreover, the House Intel Chair, Devin Nunes, feels that the DOJ and the FBI are banking on Democrats winning the 2018 midterms so they can just go ahead and make all these pending investigations and these subpoenas for documents, all this crap, they want it all to go away. They want it all to go away, and that's all there is to it. They're just like, no, I want it all to go away. We're banking on a goddamn Democrat 2018 midterm election. Let's do it. Let's do it. And that's what they're waiting for. That's why the 2018 midterms are so important, all right? I'm not joking around. That's why they're so goddamn important. I can't underscore this any goddamn more. They're important, man. Anyway, let me move on to the next subject matter. I want to talk a little bit about Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Do y'all know that they're in Kansas right now? They're in Kansas trying to, I guess, promote socialism. I guess they're trying to promote socialism in Kansas. Why are they going to Kansas, first of all? I mean, is it some Wizard of Oz fetish? I mean, is Ocasio-Cortez wearing red shoes or something? But anyway, Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are in Kansas right now promoting socialism. And I want to be honest with you folks. I mean, if anybody's out there in Kansas, man, can you please throw a tomato at these people? I mean, can you please let these people know that they're not wanted? All right? I mean, you notice that the two people that are advocating socialism, the two people that are campaigning to be leaders of socialism, are two of the most incompetent human beings that you could find in America. I mean, Bernie Sanders, some prostate-infected old 78-year-old windbag who got his first job when he was 41 years old. Yeah, he got his first job when he was 41, and guess what his first job was? Signing people onto welfare. Oh, that's great, Uncle Bernie! Jesus Christ, and y'all have heard about Ocasio-Cortez. All right, she's trying to be like, I'm a girl from the Bronx, man. I'm a girl from the Bronx, man. You don't know me, man. I'm a socialist, man. Well, it all comes clear that this woman is not from the Bronx. She was from a rich neighborhood, Westchester County. Average median income is what, over $90,000 a year? Over $100,000, something like that? Yeah, she's a girl from the Bronx, all right. And not to mention, what was she doing prior to her going and running for this congressional seat? Oh, yeah, she was a bartender in a New York shitbag bar scene out there in her little shitbag district that she ran for. So this is what we have running for the socialist American political system out here. Bernie Sanders, some guy who probably wakes up 6 times to take a piss a night, who had his first job at 41 years old, signing people to welfare, and you got Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, some bartender slutbag, out here trying to promote socialism, for Christ's sake. And we talked about it on the last show. Ocasio-Cortez, this woman is like a couple of cans short of a six-pack. I mean, she claims that she wants to run for president. Then she was asked about her opinion on the Israeli-Palestinian situation. And when she tried to, slow walk an explanation on her views on the subject matter, she called Israel an occupier, or an occupation. And then when she was asked to allude on that, she did the proverbial, I'm not an expert on geopolitics. Tried to laugh her way out of it. You can't do that, you stupid buck-toothed bitch. I mean, if you are going to be leading people, you have to know shit. You've got to know what you're promoting before you actually promote it, you dumb Puerto Rican lazy slut bag. But this is how socialists are, folks. There's no intellectual socialists, because if they had any intelligence, they wouldn't be socialists to begin with. Because you can go up to any socialist and say, give me one model of socialism that has worked. Give me one model that has worked and has sustained itself for an indefinite amount of time. And they cannot. All right? They can't. They cannot explain one model of socialism that has worked in the world today. Nor can communists. And the reason is, folks, is because the centralization of power. That's what it's all about. You all have to realize, as much as these communists and socialists claim that they hate money, they need to realize that their political philosophies, the basis of their political philosophies is economics. I mean, that's the prime modus operandi. I mean, that's what really ultimately changes in these governments that are run under communism and socialism. What are the first things that communists do once they take over a country? They take over the industry. They nationalize everything, is what they call it, which basically means the government takes control of the factories, takes control of the farms. Anything that's private, the government takes it over. In socialism, it's the same, but a tad bit different. In socialism, the bureaucrats in the government pick the winners and losers. I mean, in socialist models, you still may have means of production in private hands, but they're not leaving it up to the market to dictate what's produced. It's up to the socialist government to dictate what's produced by private means of production owners. And because the government decides everything in a central planning capacity, especially economics, you have problems that ended up happening like Venezuela, for instance. And I hate to keep underscoring Venezuela, but Venezuela is your quintessential socialism gone amok, I should say. I mean, remember, the reason that Venezuela is in a precarious economic situation was because the socialist government planned economically. They planned the economic future of the country based upon an oil price of over $100 a barrel. I mean, that's how they centrally planned their economy, based upon oil prices that were over $100 a barrel. Because lest we forget that Venezuela has the third largest oil deposit in the world. And at the time when Venezuela was making the most money and it looked like their little communist model was fledgling, is when barrels of oil was at like $120 a barrel. And the central planners of Venezuela planned their economy based upon these $100 a barrel oil prices. And folks, y'all remember in fall of 2015? The fall of 2015, we saw oil prices at $29 a barrel. I mean, the barrel was worth more than the damn oil inside of it. $29 a barrel. And that is why you have starving and a lack of resources and a lack of everything in Venezuela because the central planning by the government, who thought that they were going to continue to make $100 a barrel of oil, has now no way to offset the losses that are incurred based upon their miscalculation of anticipating $100 a barrel of oil. I mean, remember, they centrally planned. This is all pre-planned. So, if the barrel of oil is $29, I mean, that's a lot of money off of what they anticipated they were going to make, so something has got to give. And that's what's happening in Venezuela. And, the people out there, they could protest, they could preach, they can revolt. But you know what Hugo Chavez did once he first came into power? The communist Hugo Chavez? He took all the guns away. He took the guns away under the context of making a safe communist society. And the idiots in Venezuela, not only did they allow Hugo Chavez to be democratically elected, remember, the Venezuelan people democratically elected Hugo Chavez, and he was a blatant communist. All right, aside from that, they allowed themselves to be disarmed. They allowed themselves to be disarmed, and now that they want to revolt against Maduro, Maduro took the place of Hugo Chavez. When Hugo Chavez died of cancer, Nicolas Maduro took over. But now that they're starving, I'm talking the Venezuelan people, and now that they're being oppressed, they have no way to fight the government back except with rocks, except with, primitive methods of trying to face armed people, and there's nothing that they can do about it. I mean, they're done. I mean, that's why Maduro, who is the leader of Venezuela, while everybody's starving, he gets on national TV and, does the cha-cha or some shit, and he's eating up an empanada. An empanada is some kind of Mexican pastry or some shit. I don't really like it, but he's eating it. And not to mention, while everybody's starving to death, you've got Nicolas Maduro fat in the ass! I mean, you look at Nicolas Maduro. This fucking guy hasn't missed a damn meal. So once again, folks, not to get off on this soliloquy, but Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are in the heartland of America right now, in Kansas. This ain't Kansas anymore. We got socialists there. And as I stated, if you ever see these socialists in your town, can you throw a tomato at these people? Can you make the environment so uncomfortable for socialists that they're even afraid to come out and show their stinking, stupid faces, for Christ's sake? This is America, damn it! There should be no goddamn way a socialist should be comfortable showing their stupid socialist faces in American society, let alone running for office. Let alone running for office, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. We got socialists running for office, for Christ's sake. These people should be scared shitless to run for office. Where are the patriots out here? Where are the patriots to make the fucking environment so uncomfortable that these fucking socialists stay in their houses? That these fucking communists stay in their rooms? Where are the patriots, man? Jesus Christ! But, you've got people out here that love old Bernie, I mean, I'm not even kidding around. You got people out here, remember during the 2016 campaign? These college kids who don't even have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, that are living off of their college debt accounts. Scraping up the last pennies that they've got in their college debt accounts and sending it to old Bernie Sanders. And look at what happened. What happened? Morons, he took your money and ran. You know that Bernie Sanders raised $250 million in 2016, huh? Yeah. Let me tell you that one mo again. He made $250 million in donations from college debt kids like you. How do you like that? And what did he do later on that year? He bought a third summer home for himself. And did you know that he's been spending time at that summer home that you bought him this summer? Did you know that? And guess who was kicking it with him here recently out in that summer home? None other than fellow communist New York Mayor de Blasio. Bill de Blasio was kicking it at the summer home that you dumb college kids bought for old Bernie Sanders. I mean, give me a fucking break. I'm not even joking, man. I'm not even joking, man. You dumb kids that... I mean, this is what Bernie did. Hey, I'm Bernie Sanders, and I want all of you to donate to my campaign. I know that you don't have much money, but if you donate to my campaign, I promise I'll give you free child care, I'll give you free health care, I'll pay for your college. All I need you to do is go and get whatever shekels you got in your college debt account, and then give it to me, send it to me, and there's no refunds. And what I'd like to tell you is come on over here and take your underwears off. All right? Yeah, come on. Hey, don't worry about the pants tent. Don't worry about the pants tent. Come on over here and take your underwears off and keep contributing. Come on over here. Yeah, sit on my apple. Come on over here. Sit on Uncle Bernie's lap. Sit on my apple. That's right. Oh, yeah. Keep contributing. That's right. Hey, do you feel the boing? Hey? Do you feel the boing? Hey? Oh, yeah, you love Uncle Bernie, don't you? You love the old Uncle Bernie special, don't you? Yeah, that's right. Keep contributing. I don't care how much money you got left in your college debt account. Keep contributing. Come on. You know you want to keep contributing to Uncle Bernie. You know it's Uncle Bernie. It's sweet Uncle Bernie. Come on over here. Keep contributing. Do you feel the boing? Huh? You feel the boing? Oh my God! Oh my God! Hey, don't touch me! No, don't touch Uncle Bernie! Don't touch Uncle Bernie! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! All right now. Oh, you hurt Uncle Bernie. Oh, you chipped my apple. Oh, you chipped Uncle Bernie's apple. Oh my God! Now what I want you to do is I want you to clean yourself up. And don't tell anybody I tell you to take your underwears off and keep contributing. That's what Uncle Bernie did to you morons! That's what Uncle Bernie did! And you burn victims want more! You burn victims want more, for Christ's sake, man! You people are stupid! You're idiots! You're retarded! Jesus Christ, man! I mean, what does somebody have to do to you morons before you start realizing that you got ripped off? I'm serious. What has somebody got to do? What has somebody got to do? And by the way, as far as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the Democrats, they're trying to stop her now, you know. They know she's a dumb idiot, just like Bernie, and they're all trying to stop her. You all heard that the man that she out-primaried, Joe Crowley, the 9-time incumbent that she out-primaried, Joe Crowley is now running as an independent. And he's running against her. Believe it or not. And look, you've got all these Democrats now coming out suggesting to people in this district, begging these people in this district to vote for Joe Crowley. I'm not even joking. I'm not kidding. And let me tell you, rightfully so, because does the Democrat want to really do this? Do Democrats really want to take the turn into socialism? Folks, regular, everyday American folks are center-right. or center-left. All right? When you go all the way to the extreme to socialism, nobody in America wants that crap. People in America appreciate their freedom of decision, freedom of choice, their economic freedom, their freedom of speech, their freedom of religion, their freedom of travel. I mean, we have a lot of freedoms in America that we appreciate, for Christ's sake, man. And we don't want it superseded by some overzealous socialist government bureaucracy, man. We don't want it. Anyway, let me move on. I don't want to talk about this 78-year-old prostate-infected scumbag and this buck-toothed, wide-eyed, stupid Puerto Rican sluthole. But yeah, they're in Kansas promoting socialism for whatever reason. Anyway, let's get into some international relations, folks. Let's talk about Afghanistan. Did y'all hear that the Taliban has made it public that talks are underway with the United States? Talks are underway with the United States. So what does this mean? This means that we may give the country back to the Taliban. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to retreat and leave Afghanistan. I mean, it gives us a pretty decent position in the geopolitical and actually militarily. It gives us a pretty decent position between Russia, China, Pakistan. You know, it gives us a pretty good strategic military position. But I think that we're going to have to do business with the Taliban because the propped up government that the United States has been propping up for the past 17 years is a complete corrupt piece of garbage version of itself. And the second that we leave is when this propped up government is going to be overthrown by the Taliban anyway. So with that being said, the United States under the Trump administration is having a second look at Afghanistan and a second strategy in which we are going to bring Taliban to the negotiating table. And if we come to some kind of an agreement with the Taliban in which they become a part of the government or integrate themselves with the government, if they put the guns down, start voting, something, that we can have a relationship with the Taliban that, you know, with all due respect, could aid American foreign policy. I mean, lest we forget, folks, that right now, if you take a look at Pakistan right now is in almost a civil war. There was a bombing, I think this past weekend, in which it killed 18 Pakistanis. Bombs going off all over Pakistan. Now, the reason that Pakistan is in somewhat of a civil war is because you've got a battle between those that want to keep the government and the country secular and those that want to take Pakistan into a more fundamentalist direction. And it seems as if the Islamic fundamentalists are the ones that are winning the realm of public opinion in Pakistan. And if you know the history of the Taliban actually are Islamic students from the madrasas in Pakistan. So even though Afghanistan at one time was overtaken by the Taliban is not native to Afghanistan. The Taliban are religious students that were in the madrasas, grew up in the madrasas in Pakistan, that fought the jihad and took over the country of Afghanistan. And if we have some kind of diplomatic relations with the Taliban and we're able to keep our current military positions in Afghanistan, then that could mean that we could potentially offset any kind of Islamic upbringing that is potentially festering in Pakistan and have it on our side when it comes to the international order of things. Now, lest we forget, and Hoodie in the chat room just reminded us of this, Pakistan is a nuclear power. It is a nuclear power. Now, I know that people are probably freaking out and suggesting, well, Ghost, I mean, if Islamists kind of take over the country, I mean, aren't they going to have nukes? Well, Islamists technically, they're already half the country as it is. I mean, they're nuclear scientists who developed their nuclear weaponry. A.Q. Khan is the name of the nuclear scientist. This guy, once he gave the bomb to Afghanistan, this guy was trying to sell his services to the highest bidder. And A.Q. Khan, if you want my personal opinion, gave nuclear plans, or at least sold nuclear plans to the Iranians, sold nuclear plans to the North Koreans, before he was jailed. And I don't think he's jailed anymore. I think he's out and about now. But he was jailed for a good portion of time because he attempted to try to make contact with Al-Qaeda and attempting to sell his nuclear plans to them as well. So we're already and have been suffering with the potential of Islamists having control of the nukes in Pakistan. Now, you can do one of two things in American foreign policy. You can either make these people your enemy and continue to fight them, which that hasn't been doing very well. I mean, we've been out there for 17 years, and it doesn't seem like there's a shortage of Taliban fighters, to say the least. Secondly, we all know that Pakistan is supplying all the Taliban fighters. I mean, that's where the origin of the Taliban comes from. So if we befriend the Taliban, when I mean befriend, I'm not talking about them being our allies. Once again, it's about diplomatic relations and an understanding of respect. We give them political authority over portions or maybe some portions of Afghanistan. They let us keep our bases in Afghanistan, which will give us diplomatic relations with whatever Islamists that are emerging in Pakistan. And the reason that we want to do this, folks, is because when Iran decides that it's either going to confront Israel or confront Saudi Arabia, because both of those powers right now are agitating Iran, what America wants is Pakistan to take an abstaining view of the Islamic war that's going to happen if it's Saudi Arabia against Iran. We don't want Pakistan to choose sides. And to do that, we have to be able to give them an understanding that, hey, look, we understand that you want to be Islamic fundamentalists within the confines of your own countries. And we've obliged you in Afghanistan. We're obliging you now in Pakistan. But the last thing you need is to be a chooser of sides in this grand war of either Israel and Iran or Saudi Arabia and Iran. And I think that this is what this comes down to. And once again, folks, who does that put pressure on again? If we befriend Pakistan and Pakistan turns Islamist, like Taliban-esque, it benefits the United States because who borders Pakistan? China. China borders Pakistan, and you've got a nuclear power in Pakistan in the north. You've got, China side by side with India as a nuclear power. And look, we're trying to get some kind of diplomatic relations with North Korea. And North Korea, they may not be a nuclear power yet, but they have ballistic missiles. So right now, China is finding itself surrounded by nuclear powers. Moreover, they have not won brownie points with their Asian neighbors with this bullshit that they're pulling off in the China Sea, South China Sea. You know, that artificial island that they've brought up and propped up and putting all kinds of military armaments and tanks and planes and all kinds of bullshit on there? I mean, Vietnam, the Philippines, and all these other Asian countries that border the South China Sea, they're not liking that shit. So right now, as much as China wants to puff out its chest as it wants to be the superpower, you have Trump foreseeing the future and why he's trying to create all these diplomatic connections with former foes so that we can corner China in a position where it is impossible for them to be the superpower of the world that they're aspiring to be in the year 2025. I mean, this is what it comes down to, folks. You gotta realize that, you know, the United States, at least under Trump, we want to be a superpower again. I mean, under Obama, under Hillary Clinton, under George W. Bush Jr., these globalists, what they wanted to do is they wanted to reduce the power of the United States on an equal playing field as every other country. That's why they were trying to bankrupt us and make us poor. That's why they sent the means of production outside the United States and put it in Mexico and China, etc. They tried to do everything they could to destroy America so that they could put America's head on a wall like a fucking deer or a dead animal or something. They wanted to consolidate power. Like I said, that's what the United Nations is all about. A consolidation, centralization of world power. And that all stopped with the election of Donald Trump. That's why I said in the beginning of this, or post the markets today, I said that this is a shift in the world order, and Trump, he's trying to make deals here. He's trying to restructure the new world order. Because the world order should consist of nation states. And the two superior nation states in the world today, the United States and Russia. Why? Because we have the nukes. We've got 90% of the world's nuclear weapons. We could destroy the world if we wanted to. But we don't want to. And that's what we have against each other. A mutual assured destruction respect. That's what the United States and Russia has with one another. We're never going to be allies. We're never going to be friends. But if we have a certain level of respect, then that's all we need to suppress any one of these superpowers that are trying to raise themselves as some kind of communist edifice of the future. And that doesn't just include China. That also goes for the EU. That also goes for the goddamn European Union. So once again, a lot of strategy going on in the foreign policy of Trump. I think that talking with the Taliban at this point, after 17 years of propping up a government who can't even fucking protect itself, it seems militarily feasible at this point to negotiate with the Taliban and potentially integrate them with the government and have some kind of diplomatic relations with the Taliban, which would put us in the diplomatic relations driver's seat with Pakistan. Remember, Pakistan don't like us very much for a lot of reasons, all right? But this would put us in good graces with Pakistan, and it would halt a lot of the Islamic terrorism, at least coming from these two Islamic variants, on the United States' interests. And moreover, it'll keep Pakistan neutral in a war either between Israel and Iran or Saudi Arabia and Iran. And once again, it also puts more pressure on China, baby. Puts more pressure on China. It gives us also leverage on Russia just in case Russia tries to get uppity. We've got the Pakistanis on our side, which are a nuclear power. All right, well, we will if we befriend and establish a diplomatic relation with the Taliban. We'll have the Taliban basically on our side. We'll also have probably a base in Afghanistan. So, I mean, I like the position. I like the restructuring of the world order here. And I think this is five-dimensional chess on the global scale, baby. Five-dimensional chess on a global scale. Regardless of what happens, I am completely happy that institutionalist globalism is taking a huge step back. Embracing this consolidation of power, like the EU, the nation states that consolidated their sovereignty, their culture, their race into this European Union superstate. We need to stop these entities from continuing, and we have with the election of Donald Trump, thank God. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about Angela Merkel, since we're talking about the EU, all right? Now, Merkel had a press conference recently. I think that she's just barely saved her hide on continuing her tenure as Chancellor of Germany. But in her press conference, she made it clear that Europe can't rely on the superpower of the U.S. anymore. And, you know, it was funny. In this press conference, Merkel really didn't sound angry. She didn't sound upset. She sounded real, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, she sounded like realist, like realism, you know? Like she wasn't being like pro-EU. She was just kind of telling it how it is, which is very weird from Merkel. I mean, aside from her saying that Europe can't rely on the superpower of the United States anymore, Merkel also said that U.S. and German ties are key to the future of Germany. So, I mean, obviously, I mean, this could be all talk, but, you know, she is saying that the importance of United States ties is key to German success. And at the same time, in the same press conference, folks, you'd be surprised, but Merkel actually defends the president for the Trump-Putin summit. I mean, can you believe this? Angela Merkel! Can you believe? I am Angela Merkel, and I agree with Trump. I agree with Donald Trump. He should meet with Vladimir Putin. He should meet with him more often. Meetings between these two countries should be normal again because I'm Angela Merkel. I'm serious. That's what Angela Merkel said. She defended the president and said that meetings between Trump and Putin should become normal again. And critics shouldn't be so critical about these superpowers, you know, potentially talking and getting together, etc. Which is odd. Which is really odd. I mean, is this the same Angela Merkel? Huh? I mean, did the original Angela Merkel die and they put in some kind of broad that looks like her, for Christ's sake? Because this doesn't sound like your average everyday Angela Merkel here, all right? This doesn't sound like your average everyday Angela Merkel. This is a recent press conference. I mean, obviously, she said that Europe can't rely on the superpower of the U.S. anymore, and that statement to me sounds like she's telling Europe that, you know, you got to start paying for your own goddamn defense. And you can't rely on the United States to protect Europe while Europe is doing nothing but spending on goddamn social programs, turning their people into liquid shit. I mean, let's be honest, folks. That's how come the EU was so easily able to just bring in these migrant Yehudis, and these wild Yehudi migrants just came in and raped and pillaged the country without any kind of opposition whatsoever. Because they've turned most of Europe into a bunch of docile, drug-taking, sex-crazed party maniacs. And I've said this time and time again, but it bears repeating. If you want to take a look at what Europe was before the whole migrant crisis, take a look at the video by Prodigy. As a matter of fact, Prodigy is producing a new album. I'm not even joking. That's awesome. But take a look at the song by Prodigy called Smack My Bitch Up. Take a look at the video. Take a look at the uncut video, Smack My Bitch Up by Prodigy, and that's what European socialism was. I mean, it was nothing but drinking and fucking and drugging and going to sleep and waking up and doing it all over again. Why? Oh, because I'm a socialist. Yes, I'm a socialist, and I want to work only 6-hour days. Yes, and I want to do 3-hour lunches. Yes, and I mean, I'm not joking around, folks. I mean, I remember in the 90s and the early 2000s when I knew a guy, believe it or not, I knew a whole bunch of people that went to Europe, but I knew a guy that went to Europe for 10 fucking years and he hated leaving it. He hated leaving it. And he spent, I think, 1992 to 2002 out there. Loved every minute of it. Why? Because it was a bunch of bourgeoisie socialism out there. You know, everybody was all laid back, he said, and you could take the trains to any country that you want. You could take the rails, and, you know, before you know it, you're in Germany, you're in this country, you're in that country. And, I mean, he thought it was so fucking great. He thought it was so great that everybody just likes going to pubs and drinking and having this laid-back European bourgeois life. Well, that doesn't sustain itself. You know, that's what these socialists don't understand. Even though Europe, it looked great there for 20 years, right? But that's all it took to make Europe docile and afraid to stand up for itself. Afraid to have any kind of auto-determination to fight back against this communist specter that is the EU, that is asserting this migrant crisis on the population. And they don't even know how to react. Why? They have been pacified by socialism. And that's a fact. That's the truth. I mean, that's an absolute truth, man. Anyway, folks, we got about 15 minutes left in the broadcast on this Baller Friday here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. I want to talk about some issues here. Let me leave it up to the people. All right, let's talk about something a little bit. Let's talk about something a little bit unconventional on the broadcast for the last 15 minutes. All right, now I'll leave it up to you. Now, do you want to talk about something that is esoteric or, you know, something down that direction? Do you want to talk about something relating to the deep state? I mean, you know, I'm talking about underworld, underground type knowledge. I'm leaving it up to everybody who's listening to the broadcast. What do you want to talk about? I mean, as a matter of fact, if you want to talk about anything, shoot me right now a question, and I'll answer it right now. Whatever you want to. Let's make esoteric questions. How about that? We'll make it esoteric questions for the next 15 minutes. All right, let me know what you want to know as it pertains to, like, any kind of esoteric knowledge or any kind of you know, really freaky stuff like masonry or the Illuminati. Secret societies do exist. Illuminati, Hey, let's listen to that. Let's listen to that song for just a second, all right? Let's listen to that song for just a second, all right? And look, people are like, I don't want to talk about this ghost. I don't want to talk about this. This scares me. I don't want to talk about it, all right? Let me live in my own world, all right? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I just don't want to. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. No, come on, man. We got to talk about some stuff, man. Some of this stuff is pretty fun, man. All right? I mean, seriously, it's fun. I don't understand why everybody, you know, gets scared whenever we're talking about these types of things, man. I mean, look, you all have to know that our governments believe in this stuff, you know? The people that are in power believe in this stuff. All right, hey, put the Illuminati song by Fatboy Slim. Uh-oh.
Illuminati, a secret society do exist.
They do exist.
Illuminati.
Illuminati. Illuminati. Secret societies do exist. Illuminati.
All right, shut it off. Shut that crap off. All right, we get it. All right. Anyway, now that we got that all out of the way, let's see if anybody wants to talk about some of this stuff. All right. how did the Rothschilds take over the world banks? Well, that's very easy. I mean, first of all, Amschel Rothschild, which I believe is the old man's name, all right, had 5 sons. Those 5 sons, they were directed by Amschel to run houses of banking in different parts of Europe, okay? Now, how they were able to take control of the banking system was them cornering the market of England. Now, how they did that was the House of Rothschild of England, which was ran by Nathan Rothschild. Believe it or not, Nathan Rothschild is the most important Rothschild of all Rothschilds, because it was Nathan that brought in the Rothschilds from whatever the hell they were into beyond nobility, beyond monarchy, etc. Now, Nathan, what he did is that he knew, based upon information, because information is everything when it comes to business, folks. He had one of his messengers who witnessed Napoleon fall at Waterloo give Nathan the message, and Nathan put out the message that Napoleon had won Waterloo, and told all of his associates to propagate this notion that Napoleon had actually won Waterloo, and as a result, this prompted a massive sell-off in the stock market of England. Everybody was selling off, and guess who was buying all those stocks at dirt cheap prices? None other than Nathan Rothschild. And by the time the news got to England that Napoleon actually lost and fell at Waterloo, all of a sudden the investors wanted to come back into the market. But by the time they wanted to come back into the market, Nathan had owned the majority of shares of everything in the English market. And it was up to Nathan in which and when and what price he wanted to sell all the stocks that he cornered in that particular cornering of the English market. And after that, believe it or not, after that event, the Rothschilds became the proprietors of the Bank of London. And believe it or not, the Rothschilds are in control of all central banks throughout the international community ever since Nathan cornered the English market. So that right there is how the Rothschilds were able to take complete control of the banking system. Okay? Who else do we have here? Do you know anything about the Bohemian Club? Yes, actually I do. All right, and the Bohemia history. The Bohemians, well, I don't want to go into the history of the Bohemia, going back to Germany and all that stuff. I don't want to get into that. I do want to get into the Bohemian Grove, which I believe they just finished meeting. And for you folks that are unfamiliar with the Bohemian Grove, it is an event. It is an event that happens once a year, every summer. In like I think mid-July, from like July 7th to about the 14th or the 15th, 16th, some shit like that. They spend a week out in, I think, northern San Francisco in the redwood woods of I forgot what the town's name is, but they call this vast amount of redwood lands, which is nothing but like big, huge trees and forest. They call it the Bohemian Grove. And they invite the elites of the elites men to Bohemian Grove. And what they do there, and the only reason we know what they do there, is based upon what's been leaked out, the pamphlets that have been leaked out, and not to mention the good old documentary. And let me tell you, I miss Alex Jones when he made documentaries. I mean, that's when he really produced products and information that actually meant something. I mean, this garbage that he's doing now with the radio show, he's ripping me off, first of all. But secondly, I just don't think that he's providing as much of hard-hitting information like he was during his documentaries. Now, with that being said, Alex Jones actually snuck into the Bohemian Grove and actually participated in one of the events that the members of the Bohemian Grove were participating in. Now, what has been found out is that the people that are the leaders of politics, the leaders of industry, the leaders of the military, they all get together, and they're all men. It's all men. The Bohemian Grove are all men. And they get together and they indulge, they drink, they have sex with prostitutes and young boys and all kinds of shit, okay? Not to mention they pray to Babylonian and Phoenician deities. If you are not familiar with the work of Alex Jones, if you want to look at it tonight, I think it's free on YouTube. Inside the Bohemian Grove, Alex Jones actually videotapes a event called the Cremation of Care. The Cremation of Care, in which, in this, I guess it's like a ritual, all right? In this ritual, they burn an effigy of what is supposed to be a person. And they burn this effigy because they're burning their cares away. Because they don't want to care about all the bad things that they do, whether it's in industry, whether it's in politics, etc. I mean, I'm not even joking, man. This is serious crap. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can find the ritual here. Let me see if I can find it in short. Here, is this it here? Let me see it. Let me see this. Is this it here?
Based in Austin, Texas. And for many years I've been exposing the criminal activities of the global elite, also known as the New World Order. In past films, we've documented...
No, this ain't it. All right, hold on. Shut it off. This ain't it. Hold on. I'm trying to find the actual ritual here in which you can hear some, like, high priestess, all right, out here, you know, I mean, it is a weird ritual. And the high priest is there directing this whole really spooky event in which you've got people in robes and hoods and candles and he recites this like Babylonian gibberish. And they pray to this deity. While they're doing all this, they're praying to this deity called Moloch. Now, y'all heard me talk about Moloch last, I think it was the last show at the end of the show. Moloch is represented by an owl. It is the god, I believe, of sacrifice, in which you sacrifice your children to Moloch so that you can have, you know, a prestigious life, fame, fortune, whatever the case might be. And as this ritual of the cremation of care is transpiring in front of this deity called Moloch, all right, hey, thanks a lot. Is this the actual thing here? Yeah, it is. Hold on, let's turn it up. All right, I'm going to let this go for 4 minutes here, okay? This right here is called Bohemian Grove Human Sacrifice Caught on Tape. This is the exact video that was caught on tape by Alex Jones back in like the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001. This is the Bohemian Grove cremation of care. It's been shortened down to about 4 minutes. So let's go ahead and listen to it. I know that you guys can't view it or watch it, but if you do watch it, it's even more freakier than what you're about to listen to, all right? Bohemian Grove, human sacrifice. This is the cremation of care.
4 minutes of music. Suddenly, all around the owl, activity began. Here is the main central part of the ritual.
There's people holding torches in the air. Everybody's got a black robe on except for the priest. The main priest has got a kind of a white robe with a pointy hat on. Kind of looks like the Pope. Now, keep in mind, all this is happening outside.
Has lost its power under these friendly trees. So shall we burn thee once again this night, flames that eat thine effigy. We shall read the sign, Midsummer sets us free.
Now, what the high priest is doing here is threatening to burn the human effigy, to burn away the cares of everybody watching this ritual.
I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire. Wow. Prince of all mortal wisdom, thou of Bohemia, we beseech thee, grant us thy counsel.
Now they're lighting up Moloch. They're lighting up Moloch right now. And look, they're doing this outside. They're right in front of a lake. Everyone who's attending the Bohemian Grove is there watching this. This is the most prestigious in business, politics, military. This is the elite of the elite. This is what they're doing on the summertime.
Great owl of Bohemia, we thank thee for thy adjuration.
You're going to hear the priest say, "Begone, dull care." Listen.
Fire shall have it.
Hold on. Let me go back to that. You're going to hear the high priest going, "Begone, dull care, begone."
Bohemia, we thank thee for thy adjuration. Begone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, dull care. And all the winds, victory with thy ducks. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, Midsummer sets us free.
Yeah, they're burning the effigy right now. That's what the screaming is. They're burning the effigy. They're burning the effigy right now. That's what the screaming is. Somebody being burned. And you have everybody saying, "Yeah! Woo!" Yeah, that's our elites right there, man. Be gone, dull care, be gone. Anyway, that's the Bohemian Grove for you. All right, it just passed. It just passed. I'm not even joking, it just passed. And this is what the elites do every summer in July. And if you don't know about it, this is what everybody's doing. I mean, look, this is why I keep telling you. I mean, these people are Satanists, man. I mean, I'm not just saying that. You people that are atheists, you're already half dead. You've already given your soul up to Satan. You don't even know it. I mean, that's what these elites believe in. Even if you don't believe it, they believe it. Do you understand that? I mean, all you have to do is take a look at the rituals that these goddamn elites, for whatever reason, want to continue to expose themselves and practice in. I mean, take a look at the Goddard Tunnel, if you don't believe me. Y'all see that satanic event? The Goddard Tunnel that was in Switzerland? Y'all remember that shit? The Goddard Tunnel in Switzerland. Remember, they opened it up and they had this big, huge satanic ritual that the European Union was all sitting back and smiling about, for Christ's sake? These people believe in satanic bullshit, man, whether you believe it or not. And I don't want to scare too many people. I know everybody's out there already saying, look, Ghost, don't talk about this. I don't want to hear about this, man. This is scary. This is scary, man. Here's somebody asking another question. You've mentioned before that the God of this world is a sick God that created a world in order to sustain life. No, that's not what I said. No, that's not what I said. I said that the God of this world is not the creator of this world. The creator of this world, I don't think really cares about this world. I want to be honest with you. But you still got to pay homage to the creator. Our forefathers knew this. That's why they invoked the creator in the Declaration of Independence. If you listen to the inauguration of Donald Trump, I think that y'all should listen to it. Not only does he thank God, he also thanks the creator as well. And what is the creator? Well, let's be honest. Nobody knows what the creator is. The creator is the entity that created this world, that created everything. The God of this world, as a matter of fact, there's not just one God of this world. You know, the Jews know this. The Jews know that there is more than one God. You know that, right? I mean, the Jews know that there's more than one God. Their main God, believe it or not, is a God by the name of Elohim. Elohim is one of the main deities that the Jews pray to on a consistent basis. You know that? The God of El. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you're rich, when you're a part of the inside rich crew, you're an elite. That's why when you're knowledgeable and you're old and you're looked to for wisdom, you're called an elder. Do you get it? I mean, I can go on and on about this, man. Elohim is one of the gods that the Jews pray to. And let me explain to you about Jewish religion, okay, first of all. The Jews and their religion, it is a composition of religions that they have been exposed to throughout the whole era of time of their existence. The Jews have taken little bits and pieces of every religion that has worked. They've taken the things that have worked in religions that they've been privy to and exposed to and have incorporated it in their religion. And that's why the Jews, they're very spiritually powerful in the context of what they do. Now, I'm not trying to say that they're very holy people, all right? Because lest we forget, the Jews don't believe in hell, nor do they believe in Satan, which is very interesting, okay? But aside from this, I want you all to know that Jews, there's many different variants of Jews. But I want you all to know the reason that they're so intelligent, the reason that they're all scientists and doctors and lawyers and engineers and bankers, and they seem to be everywhere, is because Jewish parents, they don't put their child in front of cartoons. They don't let their child play video games and all this other bullshit. From age out of the womb until 13 years of age, these Jewish children are forced to go to Jewish schools and read the Torah and master the Torah. And that's why these Jews have a bar mitzvah at the age of 13, because at the age of 13, as a man, you should have had enough teaching, especially mastering the Torah, to be able to conquer the world and make your own mark on this planet. That's why bar mitzvahs, when they're 13 years old, they're like literally graduating them into manhood. And after the age of 13, that's when the Jews become a little laxed on their men. You know, then they could start playing video games. Then they start delving into things, etc. But to be honest with you folks, most Jews, they don't stop at the Torah. they move on to something called the Talmud. The Talmud is a book that is mastered by the Jewish rabbis. And in the Talmud is a lot of information that has been passed down from rabbi to rabbi going back to the first Jewish colony. And there's a lot of information in the Talmud. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, to be honest with you, the Talmud is the book that gives some of the most brilliant Jewish minds, the most manipulative Jewish thinkers, the most eloquent Jewish speakers. This is where they get the bulk of their knowledge, is from the Talmud. The Talmud, believe it or not, is a huge book. I mean, I think it's like 20 volumes of like 300-page books. And you have to know how to read the Talmud as well. If you ever looked at the Talmud page, it's written in such an unorthodox way that you have to understand how to read it. Now, let's say you're a rabbi, right? And you've mastered the Talmud. Well, where else do you go from there? Okay, you mastered the Talmud. Once you master the Talmud, then you have to master the Kabbalah. Now, the Kabbalah is sigil Jewish magic. It's Jewish magic. Now, I know that some of you folks aren't going to believe that. You're going to say, oh, Ghost, come on, dude, Jewish magic? I'm serious, Jewish magic. I mean, you have to think about something, okay? The Jewish scientists who, develop jet propulsion, the Jewish scientists that developed the nuclear warfare. If you take a look at the mathematical equations to these feats of manifestation, of real-life manifestation, if you look at the mathematical equations, they use Hebraic symbols to manifest the mathematical into the reality. Hebrewic symbols are actually a part of equations and some of the most sophisticated things in science. I mean, and that's why I'm saying that's magic. That's magic. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it to you. I mean, Jews have this uncanny ability to be able to throw spells on you, and you don't even know it. I mean, that's why the Jews are so hated. The Jews are so hated because, first of all, they're the most loyal race or group of people, I should say. They're the most loyal group of people to one another upon anybody else. There's no group more loyal to one another than the Jews. Secondly, the people that hate the Jews think that, oh, it's not fair. The Jews, it's nepotism and they hooked each other up. Yeah, that's somewhat accurate. But just because you're anointed and appointed through nepotism a certain position, you still have to fulfill those obligations. You still have to produce. And the only way that you can fulfill those obligations and produce is if you know what you're talking about from a Talmud or a Kabbalah sense. I mean, I know that this is kind of going over the head of people out here, but I'm telling you this right now. The Jews believe in magic, okay? I mean, have y'all ever heard of kosher butchering? I mean, that's a magic spell that that's why rabbis are kosher butchers, because it's a ritual that they do every time. And for you folks that aren't aware of kosher butchering, it's where the butcher goes right up to the cow, unsuspecting to the cow, and just slices the jugular. That's it. Doesn't slice the throat, slices the jugular, and the cow bleeds to death, shaking, suffering, making horrible sounds, etc. And if you ever watch a kosher butchering episode, watch the rabbis as the cow is suffering. Watch the rabbis as the cow is trying to, squirm and kick and trying to fight for its life as it's bleeding to death, and look at how the rabbis are actually utilizing the conjured energy that kosher butchered sacrifice is generating and trying to use it to its advantage. I'm not joking about this, folks. I mean, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything. I mean, whenever you hear kosher butchering, you think to yourself, oh, well, yeah, it must be kosher. It must be the right way. Kosher butchering means you slice the jugular vein of a cow and watch it die. You understand? And that is a ritual. That's why you see rabbis that are kosher butchers, because believe it or not, folks, when you see something die, that's energy that is being exerted. Because that's what you are. I mean, what makes you animate? What makes your hands move? What makes you walk and stand up straight? What makes you talk? What makes your head move? It's energy. It's electrical impulses that are derived from your brain and electronically go to whatever limb you're trying to move, your energy. And when you die, that energy that's making you, because you know that, who are you? Who are you? Your perspective. Who the fuck are you? I mean, if you look at your biomechanical suit, if you look at your body, you're nothing but a meat bag. You're a meat bag. You've seen a body dissected. It's nothing but meat. How does the animation of a human come about? It's energy. It's energy. And that's why you have heard since the beginning of time, folks, sacrifice, right? Every civilization has sacrificed something, right? The Aztecs used to sacrifice virgins so the sun could come up. My sacrifice animals, we even heard it at the DNC leaks, remember? The Hillary Clinton emails? They were sacrificing chickens to Moloch. What is this about sacrificing? I'm telling you, I could answer you all these questions, but it would just freak you out even more. It would just freak you all out even more. But I think that I've given you all a pretty good set base on where things are coming from. And I'm telling you this right now, what I've told you about the Jews, no one will tell you. Not even the Jews themselves will tell you. You've got to know all this on your own. You've got to know that there is magic around you. You know that capitalism is magic. Because what do you have to do? You have to manifest what you believe in a two-dimensional plane. Write it down. Write it down on a paper, or, I have a whiteboard, folks, where I write down all kinds of shit, all kinds of ideas. If I have an idea for business, I write it down, I diagram it, and I manifest it into reality. That's what capitalism is. It's magic, man. You manifest what it is that you want. You obtain the means necessary to be able to make it reality. And it's reality. What does a builder have to do before they build a building? They have to put it down on a paper. They have to put it down on a draft. They have to call an architect to draw everything on the 2-dimension so that the builder can manifest it in the 3-dimension. And once you start understanding that concept, that's when you start understanding that your mind is more powerful than you think. Your energy is more powerful than you think. But you have to believe. The power is in your belief system. And believe it or not, okay, if you believe in something so much, you can make the impossible possible. Case in point, take a look at the placebo effect. Whenever they test medications in any kind of test run, They dispense medications to test subjects, but make sure to give some of those test subjects placebos, which is nothing more than a sugar pill. But because these people believe that they're taking part in some test that could potentially save whatever ailment that is afflicting their health, it actually happens. I mean, it's a statistical fact that placebos actually work as well as medicine. I mean, placebos that are given to people actually show results. Why? Because of the mind, because of the power of belief. But if you don't believe in anything, and you're some fucking atheist, you're some fucking loser that doesn't even give a shit about anything or themselves, well, then you're not going to accomplish anything. You're not going to manifest anything into reality. You're not going to do anything for anybody. You're already half dead. You're already fucking half dead. Especially you atheists that think that we're just bacteria on a rock, for Christ's sake. You have no belief, and if you have no belief, you're going to accomplish nothing. Always remember that. If you want to accomplish something, you've got to believe it's going to happen. And I'm not talking about false sense of reality. I'm talking about believing. I'm talking about believing like you're going to believe tomorrow the sun's going to come up. That type of belief. Anyway, I think I've gotten a little bit too long-winded. I think I've scared a lot of people. I got people on Gab telling me, "Stop it, Ghostus, it's very scary, and I don't want to talk about it." So anyway, I want to thank you all very much. I hope that I didn't scare too many people in talking about esoteric stuff, and talking about the Bohemian Grove, and talking about the Rothschilds, talking about the Jews, talking about all this stuff. But hey, this is an aspect of reality. And remember, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And one more thing before I go. Satan. Let me give you a little bit of insight on Satan. Satan, his only power is deception. That's his only power. He has no power. His only power is deception. To deceive you. And let me explain what that means, okay? Have you ever seen Groundhog Day? I've said this many times. There's a scene in Groundhog Day when Bill Murray's character is sitting down with that woman that he's trying to go after, McDowell. And he tells her, they're talking about God. And he says, what if God is not omnipotent? What if he's just been around so long that he knows everything? And I think that's a very important statement, because that's accurate. That could be attributed to Satan's rule on this planet. Because Satan has no power outside of deception. Satan has to deceive you so that he can get things done on this planet. I mean, look at the followers of Satan, for instance, the elites. We all know that they follow Satan. I mean, if you don't believe at this point that these people are Satanists, you're an idiot. But take a look at the followers of Satan, man. I mean, they're constructing the deception. They're putting up the curtain around Satan in deception. I mean, that's all it is. Everything's a lie. That's why in the Bible it says the truth shall set you free. And that's why, folks, I'm going to be completely honest. I try to be as truthful as I can, because if you don't have truth, then we're no different than the leftists. And that's what they've done to the leftists, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I was in a chat room, some political chat room, and in this chat room, it's some political chat room on Discord. I don't want to get into it. But I give actual facts, and giving them links to facts. I purposely use leftist publications like Huffington Post and New York Times that are saying the points that I'm underscoring, so that if they try to discredit me and say that the sources are no good, I'm going to say, what, you don't like the Huffington Post? You don't like the New York Times, liberal? You could give them facts in their face, and they will still believe the lie. I mean, that's Satanism, man. I mean, Satan has no power. He has no power outside of deception. You know that, right? I mean, all this bullshit that he claims to have, he has his power based upon his followers. His followers give him power. That's why the people that are in power today, I mean, that power is truly Satan's. It's manipulation. It's lies. It's bullshit. I mean, it's crap. I mean, everything's a lie. I mean, they get us acquainted to accepting lies. Right when we're kids. Well, oh, you better be good. You better be fucking good, or this big fat fucking red suit fat man is not going to come down from the chimney and give you gifts because you were a good little boy or girl. Oh, you better be good. So the Easter Bunny gives you an Easter basket. Oh, your tooth fell out? Oh, well, put it under your pillow so the tooth fairy can come collect the tooth and give you a fucking buck. They teach us to condition us to accepting lies as truth. They condition us to do that. That's what I'm telling you. The whole elite system that is obliging Satan, they're just trying to oblige the lie that is reality. That's what they're trying to do. And why are they doing this? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to utilize humankind and the creativity and the innovation of humankind to make them, and I'm talking about the people that are Satan's followers, immortal. And they're almost there, folks. I mean, that's really what the fundamentals of Satanism is. Everybody who's a Satanist wants to be their own God, and they want eternal life. They want eternal life. And how were they able to conjure up all this technology? I mean, think about this, folks. Why do we have 7.5 billion people on the planet? Because the elites purposely geared the population into having as many kids as we possibly could. Why did the elites want us regular schmucks having all these kids? Because the power is in numbers. And the more kids that are born, the more probability of innovation and the more probability of technology, new technology coming about, is that much more higher. I mean, the elites have used us for our creativity. They've used us for our innovation. And at this point in time, folks, the elites don't seem to need us that much anymore. They don't need us. And that's why they're trying to make us dumber and dumber. That's why they're trying to give the kids psychotropic drugs so they can chemically redo their brain into becoming nothing more than a bunch of zombies. I mean, that's why they're dumbing down people in the damn education system. That's why they're trying to break up the family so everybody feels hopeless. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, this stuff is real. Whether you believe it or not, these elites believe it. I mean, what do you think that CERN shit is all about? I mean, we're going to send atoms in light speed on a collision course with one another and have them crash into one another for what? For what? What are these people trying to do? Nobody explains what the CERN is other than, we're trying to find the Higgs boson. That's what we're trying to find, the Higgs boson. No, they're not. They're trying to bring out whatever it is in whatever dimension that these people are talking to these entities in, and they're trying to bring them into this dimension with CERN. And if you don't believe me, why don't you take a look at the statue that's right outside of CERN? It is the god of Shiva, the god of destruction. So I'm just simply stating, folks, all these people that are in elitism tonight, they don't have your best interest at hand. They don't care about you. They care about themselves and their eternal life. That's what this is all about. That's what Satanism is all about. To live forever. To beat God. To beat the Creator. You know, the devil, Satan, he was banished down here with 20 other entities. I mean, if you take a look at the beginning of a Paramount movie, you know, the beginning of a Paramount movie, what you'll see is, you'll see stars coming down from the sky, and there's 21 stars that come down from the sky, and what do they do? They circle around what looks like a mountain, but it's shaped like a pyramid. I mean, I can go on. I could go on and on about this stuff, folks. I mean, all this satanic shit, all this stuff is all around us. It's all around us. It's all around us. I mean, we're living in hell. I mean, I want you all to know this is not the Garden of Eden. I mean, the reason that we're here is because we were banished here for whatever reason. And the God of this world, or the gods, plural, of this world, are banished here with us. And what they need in our dimension is us to be creative enough and innovative enough to be able to not only bring them into our dimension, but to have us live forever in some kind of futuristic, sick, sadistic future, man. So we can challenge the Creator. So we can challenge the Creator. As a matter of fact, I mean, take a look at the fucking NASA. Take a look at NASA. All right? Take a look at what they named their space shuttles. Apollo. Do you know what the god Apollo was? Look it up. Take a look at that other. What's the other space shuttle? The Challenger. The Challenger. Who the fuck are they challenging? Who the fuck are they challenging? They're challenging the Creator! I mean, it's there. It's all fucking there, man. It's all there in front of you. All this satanic shit is right in front of you, man. The Challenger. The spaceship, the Challenger. What are they challenging? What are they challenging? Wake up, okay? Reality is more freaked out than fantasy. Anyway, folks, look, I'm scaring the shit out of people. I think I went 30 minutes overboard. I'm sorry if I'm scaring you on this Baller Friday. I'm just giving you a little bit of a heads up on what's really going on all around you. What's really going on all around you, man? And not to mention, why don't you take a look at all the... I mean, it's all around. I could do this all night, man. I mean, Satanism is all around you, man. Take a look at the logos of corporations. Take a look at your Monster Energy drink. You know that little M, how freaky it looks? That little M? You know that's a Hebrew symbol, you dumb shits? Huh? You know that's a Hebrew symbol for 666! You know that? Huh? It's in front of you! It's everywhere! It's everywhere, for Christ's sake, man! You don't believe me? Look it up. Look up the little monster logo. It is Hebrew language. What did I tell you about Hebrewic language? 666. Huh? I mean, take a look at all the pyramids and the eyes, you know, and all of these goddamn logos. And by the way, we were talking about Moloch, right? You know, if you take a magnifying glass and take your $1 bill, take your average $1 bill. As a matter of fact, your $1 bill, haven't you noticed that they haven't changed the $1 bill, yet they've changed every other dollar? They've changed the 5, they've changed the 10, they've changed the 20, they've changed the 50, they've changed the 100, but they have not changed the $1 bill. Why is that? Because all their magic is on that dollar. All their esoteric magic is on the $1 bill. If you take a look at a magnifying glass and you take a look at the right corner on the front of a dollar bill where the president's head is, where President Washington's head is, if you take a look at the right corner of a dollar, you're going to see a little owl hanging out by the little $1 sign there. A little small, tiny, you got to look at it with a magnifying glass, owl in the right corner of the dollar. If you take a look on the back, obviously you see the pyramid with the capstone, with the all-seeing eye on top of it, with Novus Seclorum on top, which is New World Order. And on the bottom, it says Annuit Coeptis. Annuit Coeptis is Latin for God has crowned our enterprise with success. Okay? And on top of that, folks, take a look at the eagle. And take a look at how the eagle is holding 13 arrows. And I don't know if y'all know, did you know that there was a Star of David on the back of your goddamn dollar? Huh? Yeah! Take a look at the 6-point star in the back of your dollar! I could go on all fucking night, folks. I'm telling you this right now. I'm not even kidding. I can go on all night. I can go on all night with this crap. I think I'm going too overboard, man. I mean, it's already 36 minutes ahead of time here. I'm just saying. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and repost for you folks that are unaware the monster logo. Yeah, there it is, 666 right there. I mean, I can go on and on about this, folks. I mean, I'm telling you, this is really a freak show world, man. And why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because you have to keep things in perspective. And you have to know the truth. You can't be living a lie, man. You can't be living a lie. Anyway, this is what we talk about in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's already 10:06. I'm going to get off of here, and I'm going to go into the True Capitalist Radio chat room at 10:30. I'm going to go maybe have a Coke, a Coca-Cola, and kick back in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and we can continue this esoteric conversation if y'all want. If not, you know, we can do some internet tomfoolery, whatever you want to do. All right? Come kick back with us in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby, all right? Come kick back with us in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. And how do you get there? By God, go to my goddamn Gab right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and hit the subscribe button for premium content. That's how you become a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Go to my Gab, hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you an invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple, okay? And by the way, last call for autographs, all right? Last call for autographs. For you folks that want an autograph, once again, go to my Gab account, scroll down to the post that says how to purchase an autograph. All right, click the link, take a look at the video. No more autographs sold after tomorrow morning, okay? So just letting everybody know, no more autographs sold after tomorrow morning. Anyway, folks, what a baller Friday, man. We went well over 30 minutes. We're almost going on 4 fucking hours, man. I mean, seriously, we're almost going on 4 hours of broadcasting. I want to thank you all for listening. I guarantee you, man, I love you guys. I'm glad you guys are supporting the broadcast. Once again, I appreciate each and every one of you that purchased an autograph, and not to mention you guys that are contributing to the True Capitalist Radio crypto wishing well. Okay. Once again, they're trying to stop us. They're trying to demonetize us. They're trying to make it uncomfortable so independent media like myself cannot continue to do what it is that we do. So we're user supported, baby. You know what I'm saying? So if you like the show, by any way you can support the show, be very much appreciated. I'm sure everybody who listens will appreciate as well. Once again, folks, thank you all for listening to me. Have a great, great rest of the Baller Friday, okay? Have a great rest of the Baller Friday. I will be back Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is ghost.report, all right? Add that to your favorites. Add that to your bookmarks. Ghost.report. And I'm out of here, folks. I'm out of here. I'm going to go. I'm going to kick back for a little bit. I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room here. It's already 10:10. Let's give it 10:45. 10:45. It's already 10:10 p.m. where I'm at. Let's give it a 10:45. I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and let's see maybe we'll continue where we left off, talking about esoteric stuff. Maybe we'll talk about something else. Who knows? Maybe we'll do some internet tomfoolery. Who knows? All right? Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in with me on this Baller Friday. Make sure to spread the word about the show, because remember, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you're listening to the underground. Anyway, folks, thank you very much. This is episode number 594, July 20th, 2018. Thank you very much for tuning in with me. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism. I'm out of here. You better be here with me 6:30 p.m. this next Monday, live on the broadcast. I'm out of here. Woo!
And there you have it, guys. Happy Baller Friday. I do hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast of the True Capitalist Radio. This was episode number 594. Relay broadcasting here on the Capitalist King Network. I am your relay host, your BN King. Really want to wish everybody thank you for watching, and also hope you also had a great Baller Friday. What a Baller Friday this has been. A lot of red pills has been dropped, and I do hope you guys had to get in for it, because a lot of truth, man, a lot of truth, and you guys have to huff and puff it a bit, because whew, man, that is heat. But of course, he could go on and on for a lot of stuff and reasons, and it's always interesting to listen in to Ghost. And really, Ghost, thank you for actually for the broadcast, and of course, as you always do, and of course, to everybody who listen in to the IC, and of course the TCR Discord chat, which people can actually listen to me from there. So thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed tonight's Baller Friday edition of this True Capitalist Radio broadcast here once again on the relay stream of the Capitalist King Network. Alright, guys, well, I'm going to be shouting out some shout-outs here momentarily, but before I do, let me give some shout-outs. Well, before I do any shout-outs, let me just say that, of course, if you're a new watcher or new listener to the relay of the broadcast, why not subscribe, as I do the TCR shows every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 6:30 p.m. Central is normal Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern if you live in the East, and 4:30 p.m. Pacific if you live in the West. And of course, if you don't know what your time zone is, always just Google search and time, and then you just check on the 6:30 p.m. Central Time in Texas, and you'll know exactly when it actually starts. But if you subscribed, then you'll be notified on the next show, and if you do click that bell as well, then you'll be perfectly booked for your next show, which will happen on a Monday or any day, any time of the day, or any date whenever the next show happens. You'll be notified when the stream goes live and everything goes up. Then pretty much everything will go live as well, on real time as it goes. So I would appreciate that. And of course, do make sure to follow Ghost over his Gab account. Politics Ghost is his Gab, and if you do make sure to follow, just make sure to like and repost all his very interesting posts, because every post he puts out is information that the people should know. And really, it is very, very, very interesting. That really it is necessary for anybody could just just give it a quick and easy like, and or just wait a post, or it's just as simple as that. And if you do subscribe to his account, you'll be especially invited to the TCR Discord chat, in which it's a very good Discord chat room. And of course, the subscription does have a fee, but of course it is worth to come in and chill out. And lots of tomfoolery and lots of very interesting happens. A lot of history happens in that chat room, so why not be a part of it? And of course, it's easy. Just subscribe to Ghost, and once you do, send him your Discord name. And of course, once you send your Discord name, then he'll reply to you the Discord invite, in which the invite is a one-time use. It's a one-time use, and of course, it's a one-time, timed. So do make sure to really, 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 really get on it while you still can. But we'll be waiting for you once you do. Alright guys, so that's about it. Let me just send you a quick shout out here. Oh yes, thank you guys. Some of you guys are saying, hey, you finally finished GTA San Andreas, finally, after all this time. Yes, it is. And of course, the next game coming up is Splinter Cell Conviction. Yeah, Conviction. Yeah, Splinter Cell Conviction is my next game. So for those who are wondering, that's going to come on the Monday's broadcast, or which is going to be $5.95. Alright, let me get some shout outs now. So if you want to shout out, all you have to do right now is just say be a part right now on the live stream, on the live chat room on YouTube, and only the live show peeps and live feed. So if you're watching or listening to this on the archives, well, unfortunately, try next time to come into the live feeds. But of course, shout outs to you. Thank you for watching and listening in the archives. So what's going on to the peeps over there in the YouTube? Hold on, wait. There is one thing I forgot to mention. Let me get some very special shout outs to people who actually subscribed, and of course anybody who actually lived a tip. And yes, I do accept tips. It does help me out, and you get shouted out, and well, let's just say you just get a very special shout out before anybody else on the YouTube. So what's going on too? Well, it's Supache. It's Supokai. Hey, Supokai Argentina. Thanks for the $1.99 tip. And of course, he left a message, and it's saying, "Ghost is thick AF," and we all know what that AF stands for. So thanks, Supakai, or is it Supachi? And Michael's Glove HD. Thanks for subscribing. And that's everybody else right there. So that's all the special shout outs. So let's go and do some regular shout outs. I gotta go do it as fast as I can, because I gotta do another stream, which is a movie stream. We're playing Ed Wood tonight for our movie night, and I should get this done in the next 10 minutes. So what's going on to Aaron 2, Mon, Blackout Worm, The Truth, The Stranger Fiction, what's going on, Blackout Worm, what's going on to Cobra Broadcast TV Channel 2, Omega Radioist, and Political Things. And of course, that's pretty much it for that, and the participants. I'm going to scroll up and see who we have past. Randy Lafferty, what's going on? So who is Milton was here. Scrolling up here. Once again, I'm taking some YouTube shoutouts. If you still want a YouTube shoutout, just say something right now. Or I'm just scrolling up in the past. See who we have here. Reptilium Shape-Shifting Master Race. What's going on to you? The Man. Deadpool Rules 96. Ron Livingston was here. There's no nuclear annihilation without creation. What's going on to you? Let's see who else here. I'm taking some YouTube live feeds. Scrolling up. Alexander Catalan. There you have it. Another shout out from you. Let's see what's going on. Man, they're all the same. I don't see anybody else. Oh, and Squeaky Nova. Yeah, Squeaky Nova. Can't forget about Squeaky Nova and Piranha PJP. That's just everybody I can scroll up as far as I can. So once again, guys, if I missed your shout out or you were here at some point, well, shout outs to you guys. Thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in. This was the True Capitalist Radio Relay broadcast out of the 594 right here on the Capitalist King Network. Once again, I'm your relay host, BN King, and I wish everybody another happy Ball of Friday. And which this does conclude our stream for tonight. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna be off now. I would say much. I wouldn't say as much since I say that Ghost has went overtime about nearly 4 hours. So right now I gotta get going. I just start my movie stream here. Once again, we're playing Ed Wood. So if you want to watch Ed Wood with us, I'll link to you guys here. Or after streams, so stay put. Once stream ends and cuts, it's gonna be posted on the chat room. So if anyone wants to watch Ed Wood with us, it is very well, if you don't know what the movie is about, well, let's just say it's a Tim Burton film starring Johnny Depp as Ed Wood, is pretty much a kooky director who pretty much makes very, very odd films, and of course it's all one takes. So very, very much it is a film that, you know, something that just to watch, but if not, then of course that's a fine. But yes, I'll provide the link for anybody who wants to watch Ed Wood with us. It's over to the BN Theater SideTube channel. So if you know where the BN Theater SideTube channel, or not SideTube, the Ustream channel. I'm sorry, the Ustream channel. Then just go right ahead and go over there, and I'll meet you guys there. If not, then I'll just once again just provide you guys the link. It's pretty easy to see, but mostly don't even know. So yeah. Anyways. And that is it for me. Once again, thank you for watching and thank you for listening in. I am done for tonight and speaking out. So once again, y'all have a happy, good weekend. Hope you enjoyed yourselves and stay cool from this weather because, yes, right now the heat is still intense during the summer and we're still in summertime. Can't wait for the things to cool down here in the weeks ahead. But until then, we'll just have to deal with it. Anyways, good night to everybody. Thank you for watching. And yeah, that's just pretty much it for the stream. So thanks again, guys, and I'll see you guys either the next broadcast, which will be 595. If not, then I'll see you on the next TCR broadcast right here on the relay of Capitalist King Network. So thanks again, guys. See you guys next time. Until then, we'll see you guys on next time. So you have a good weekend. Good night. Hasta la bye bye. Buenas noches. And see you guys next time. So later on to everybody, and see you guys on the next stream. So once again, Ed Wood playing momentarily. Link will be posted here right when it cuts off. So see you guys there, or see you guys on the TCR Discord group, which will be hearing Ghost and of course joining with Ghost. So I hope you see you guys there. If not, then I'll see you guys on the next broadcast. So thanks again, guys, and later on.